This is the way the world ends, not with a whimper, but with Far Off Films podcast. Hi all, it's me, Timmy from Tim Jong-un Productions.
Yay!
Yay. That was a quote from Northland Stories. Who are you all?
The Northmen.
The Northmen, yeah.
The Northmen, Robert Eggers.
That was a quote. I think.
Okay,
yeah.
My name is the Walrus, or Jules from the channel Suck My Dick or I'll Kill Myself. Also known as the Walrus Man. Who else is here?
Sorry.
Yeah, I am Luca from Luca_S Films. Yeah.
Now you say a quote from Southland Tales.
No, because I don't care enough to remember any of them.
Suicide.
I'm Luca from loudisn'tfunny.com.
I don't even remember that quote at all.
I'll talk about it later.
Okay. Yeah. How
Speaking
are we
about
all?
things that are sometimes funny.
I'm doing fantastic.
Are we doing the stories or?
I only got one thing today.
Okay.
That's fine. That's
Cool.
fine.
That's
Okay,
actually
now-
great because I'm very jet lagged from my trip. I was on a business trip, so
you-
my mental capacity is at at least 40% today. So
I got my examinations coming up, so I am already very tired.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Are you having memories, Luca?
Yep, I'm having flashbacks. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Exams.
Yeah, no, what a fucking
Alright.
time. Like, even in college, I was like, damn, those are things I had to think about. But now that I'm I graduated, and I'm like a big boy with a big boy job, and I'm like, damn, I can't believe I used to give a shit about those things. It's like, you fucking
Jules,
losers.
what's your approach? I always used to do jack shit and then just study the night before strat.
Oh, we got the same
See,
style.
Oh, nice.
Okay, well, here's the
Nice.
thing. That's like a classic style in high school, but you can't replicate that in college. Like, I've tried. It's not possible.
Oh, really?
Because believe it or not, I was a straight A student in high school. And I used that same approach, and I did pretty okay. And then you just come to college, and it's that just can't fucking work at all. But at that point, my work ethic decreased by 90%. So also maybe that had something to do with it. But I don't know. So anyway,
COVID fucked up my work ethic so much.
mm-hmm. How is
Yeah.
How is Australia?
I did well in school.
Mm-hmm. How are the Australian examinations? If I can, because I don't know, how fucked are they compared to America? Do you guys have SATs and shit like that, or?
We got SAC sacks.
Oh, damn.
And we have to, for my English one, which is my first one, I have to, the normal people would sit down in a hot gym for 3 hours and write 3 essays by hand, but through the power of having autism, I get to do it in a quieter space on a computer. So,
Hell yeah.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Oh my, that reminds me of such a funny story. I had a friend in school, and we were writing one of our last exams, and his handwriting was absolutely atrocious. It was worse than a doctor's handwriting. No one could read it. So he had to type out his exams while the rest of us had to write. And obviously when you're typing out, you type it on Google Docs, but obviously he wasn't allowed any autocorrect or anything like that, so he had to turn off the Wi-Fi on his computer and then write just normally in docs, and then at the end when he turned on the Wi-Fi, I had a glimpse of his computer when he turned on the Wi-Fi again to submit his essays. There was just so many red marks to indicate spelling errors. The whole thing was covered in red marks. And
Oh
I
my
just
God.
started laughing my ass off. Yeah, that was so funny. It was so funny.
When I was doing like my exams earlier in the year, it was like my last one. It was my food tech exam, and it was in like an upstairs classroom, kind of overlooking like the front side entrance to the school. And I was like trying to think like how to structure a question response, and I just happened to look out the window, and I saw the most gigantic rat just scurrying towards the entrance to the school, and like I visibly jumped. I was like, "Oh, there's a rat outside!" And the teacher went like, "Shut the fuck up! It's an exam." I was like, "There's a rat outside."
Well, I had
Nice.
normal examination conditions because I guess I'm a privileged asshole. So,
Wow. Wow.
yeah, I had no rats and no dumbasses who couldn't spell for shit, I guess. I don't know. So, I was an honor student, so
No,
I guess
he
like
was smart. He just couldn't. He just
Oh,
couldn't
okay.
spell. I
Oh,
can't
okay.
spell. I can't fucking spell. But
most
I'm a good
people
writer.
can. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah. We all
Yeah,
know
that was
one
so
guy.
long
There
ago
was a
for
guy-
me.
There's a guy that I know who accidentally spelled kind of cool as jubbed kick.
what?
Okay, I don't think I'm that bad. But
I was
you
gonna
never
say,
know.
how do you fuck up that badly?
Yeah. Anyways.
Anyway.
Should we move on to the one movie news you had?
Yeah. What?
Yeah. Okay. So this is
what
kind of
happened
like
this
a
time?
guessing game.
A
Don't
guessing game.
don't spoil for the other person if you already know.
Okay.
So there's been a new head of DC.
Oh,
appointed.
okay. Yeah. I know about this. Yeah.
Do you
What?
know?
I
who-
don't know about this.
Okay, give
I
us
won't
a-
say
give us
anything.
a
I won't
guess.
say anything.
I don't
worry.
know who
so-
runs DC like normally, like, or
It's
who.
overseen by Warner Bros, aka David Zaslav.
Yeah, a fucking intern runs it at this point. So.
So wait, is there a new person that runs it now?
Yeah,
So I must guess
And-
who it is.
yeah.
Zack
Give us
Snyder?
a-
I don't
God,
No,
that
no,
would
no,
be
it's the
fucking
polar
awful. I
opposite.
hope not. Yeah, like, but that did happen.
That'll
Like,
be
remember
every-
when Zack Snyder was in
That'll be
charge of
every
DC?
Redditor's wet dream.
I don't know.
Okay, I'll show. Okay, it's James Gunn. He's running
Yay!
Really? Huh.
DC. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew
He's a
about this
director,
beforehand.
though.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess he's gonna direct the company now.
yeah. Well, apparently he's not gonna stop directing movies because he still has his like Guardians of the Galaxy shit that he has to direct, and
Yeah, how's that gonna like go down? Like, imagine being the owner of DC, but also like going to direct.
get hired to
Marvel movies.
direct
It's gonna
for
be like
Disney.
an Ant Bugs Life situation.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a Madagascar, wild. What the fuck was that other movie called? A Wildlife.
Wild.
The Wild.
Oh,
yeah.
the wild. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that film.
Yeah.
Oh my
Me
god.
too, because I had a
used to
copy
love
of the.
that when I was a
I had a
child.
copy of the DVD, and I really loved it for some reason, and I brought it with me, and I brought it to like a friend's house, like in like out of state in a different state, but I forgot to like bring it with me. I left it at his place,
damn.
and I was upset for like a day, but then I forgot about it. Like it's just that forgettable about a movie. So yeah, but anyway, this James Gunn stuff. I mean, I don't know, like this is kind of weird because like from what I understand, the Suicide Squad, not just Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad wasn't like a huge financial hit, was it? Like I thought it bombed. Now that I think about it,
I think
so-
it did really well on HBO Max though.
Okay,
'Cause they
okay,
released
I
it
guess.
at the same time.
All right, yeah, and then like he had his like Peacemaker show, and they were like, "Well, Zack Snyder didn't work out.
did well.
Let's give it to this special boy."
Yeah.
And,
apparently David Zaslav asked Kevin Feige. He's like, "Do you want to do it as well?" And he said no.
Oh, imagine
Is
having
David
to run
Zaslav-
DC and Marvel. Jesus Christ, that's
You'd be the most powerful man in Hollywood.
He already is
Yeah,
the most
but-
powerful man because he runs
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
Marvel.
Doubly
Yes.
powerful.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, but like I guess yeah, this is hilarious. Like I didn't know David Zaslav like builds himself up as this like fucking like 40 chest like big brain businessman, And I know a lot of like people on the internet like jerk off to him and like suck his dick and like, you know, bow down to him saying, "Oh my god, he's a business genius. He's going to like save like Warner Brothers or fucking whatever." But like I don't know, like decisions like this, it's like clearly you just don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like clearly you're a fucking idiot. Like okay, taking aside from the fact that like
do you want
he
to hear
just
something about him to me?
I yeah, sure. What did he do this time?
I just remembered about this. This is the quote that I saw from him today, where he justified taking down. All those
I think I
animated
saw
shows
this in
from
the
HBO.
Yeah, I was angry. Just say the thing, and yeah, for the sake of people who haven't heard it.
Warner
Yeah.
Bros. CEO David Zaslav says when removing shows from streaming platforms, they didn't take one show off a platform that would help us in any way. He adds that they will replace these shows with content that has a chance to be more successful with a larger audience.
I think I wanted to throw my chair out the window when I saw that. I was like, "What the fuck does that even mean? What does that even mean?"
Didn't
like,
Infinity Train have like a huge audience?
yeah, Infinity Train has a huge cult following, and like I don't know, like and all the other shit that they cut, like what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole again. I did this twice, and I don't want to do it again. But like this guy is a literal fucking moron. Like I don't know what the fuck goes through his head. Like when he makes these decisions. Like what is this guy's mentality? What is he thinking? Like
Money.
Taking aside for the whole like, you know, fucking, you know, cutting off the animation thing. Like, what are you really accomplishing by making these changes with, like, DC, for example? Like, the Batgirl thing, you know, like, okay, whatever. Like, it might have been, like, the biggest piece of shit in the world. But then, like, I don't know.
It had Brendan Fraser in it, though.
Yeah, like, when you have a Chad like Brendan Fraser, is that really a good... And then, like, the whole, like, we have to make it like Marvel. Like... Did you not learn your lesson the last time you tried to do this shit? It went fucking awfully. Like, you remember when, like, Universal did the fucking, like, The Mummy because they wanted, like, a cinematic universe? Yeah, with, like, the fucking Monster Boys or whatever. Like, this is the same shit. Like, and you want to go down this rabbit hole again? Like, I don't know. Like, part of what I like about DC and why I show up to go see them, even though, like, I don't really give a shit, is that, like, they're not constrained by this formula. They can literally just do whatever the fuck they want, which is why, like, somehow Aquaman and, like, BVS exist in the same universe. It doesn't make sense, but they somehow exist. You know, like Shazam somehow exists in all this universe. It's like, I like how everything is sort of like its own thing, you know? And then, like, but then, like, by having them kind of stuck in this formula like in Marvel, it's like, I don't know, doesn't that take away like the fun of what... And they're all relatively successful too. Like Aquaman like made a fucking $1 billion in the box office, and then like the Batman was like pretty successful too, which makes me wonder, like, is the Batman gonna be like a part of this new DC universe, or like is Ben Affleck gonna be Batman at some point and then Robert Pattinson gonna be Batman at some point? Like, how the fuck does any of this work, you know? So
I think they already said that that's going to be separate, the Robert Pattinson one.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that would be... I don't know how they would do, like, a Batman verse.
The
like,
Batman multiverse of
Yeah.
madness.
are they gonna make a Spider-Verse
They want to copy
movie?
the multiverse formula, so I
my-
could see it happening.
Yeah, because they said they also were gonna bring back Michael Keaton for like the Flash movie or something, right?
Yeah. That's
So
so
they're
be time travel.
they yeah, and that what's next? Like, are they gonna throw in Christian Bale too? Like, go fuck me. Yeah, but with James Gunn though, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what to expect, because even though I
he's
like
capable.
James Gunn as a director, like I like his sense of he's what's the best way to describe James Gunn? He's sort of like he's like an asylum director, but if he was competent and actually good. I guess that's the best way to describe him. And like, I don't mean that to say as like
balance absurdist comedy with emotion quite
yeah,
well.
exactly. Like, I think he's like, because I've seen all of his films, not just like his superhero shit. Like, I've seen Slytherin Super, and I think those are really they're not like the best movies in the world or anything, but like they're very goofy, like over the top, like fun movies. So I don't know if we can
Have you
get
seen
more
the
of like
Scooby-Doo
that.
movie?
Yeah, his masterpieces. Yeah, And I don't know if we can get more of that shit like in the DC universe and like stop doing this Zack Snyder edgy brooding like movies, then I consider that a win, as the meme said. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be quite interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So.
Oh, and David Zaslav wants to reboot Harry Potter, Timmy.
So I guess
getting all these at this point just to make Timmy mad.
Yeah, he's just like one of these days I'm gonna be surprised when David Zaslav makes an actual good decision. I'll be like, what? Like, what? Like, what's next? Is he gonna fucking remove all the Ghibli films from HBO Max 2? Is he gonna do that to make a tax write-off? Like,
they don't want to. The audiences don't want to read subtitles. That's
yeah,
why we took
and
them
also
off.
animation is for babies and nerds, I guess. So
Yeah.
Why does so I guess like David Zaslav doesn't care that like J.K. Rowling like doesn't think trans people exist or some shit. Like, what the fuck is going? And didn't the last like Fantastic Beasts movie bomb or whatever? Like, why the fuck is he doing this? Like, what does he want more?
I think it did well.
Really? I thought it bombed. I thought for sure it bombed.
I might be confusing it with Jurassic World.
No, Jurassic World did amazing.
No, Jurassic World did great. I swear it bombed. Let me
I
actually
forgot there
look
was
at
a new Fantastic Beast.
Me too. I
now
forgot
that
it. Yeah.
Now that you mentioned it.
I saw them in like the same week of each other, and they pretty much blended together. It was like the only 2 times I've considered like leaving the cinema.
Oh, really? It was that boring?
Yeah.
It's in the top 10 highest grossing films of the year.
What, Jurassic
How
World?
much?
No, Fantastic Beast.
Well, I looked
It
up
grossed
Fantastic Beasts.
405
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
405 million against a budget of 200 million, but it's the lowest grossing in the Harry Potter.
Yeah, so that's not like a huge. I mean, I don't even think that you could count that as a success. I think you can say that they made their money back, but I don't think that's like a box office success.
They pretty much just broke even, I think.
Yeah, so it's like, is this really worth? Here's the thing: the only way I get around to this, taking aside my feelings of J.K. Rowling as a person, like, if they're going to make more Harry Potter movies, she needs to stop writing these movies. Like, she needs to remove herself as a screenwriter because I can't take her writing anymore.
Is so bad.
Like, I literally couldn't finish Fantastic Beasts 2 because the writing was such cringe.
You'll love the third one then.
Oh my god. Is it like Funny Bad or something? I didn't bother seeing the third one because it's like I couldn't finish the second one.
It's basically I hope you don't mind if I spoil.
Sure, I don't give a shit. Yeah, I don't care. Yeah.
It's basically they're trying to find this or get this Fantastic Beasts that decides the next wizard president.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's a political story about a presidential election. And
Jesus Christ.
Grindelwald decides to become wizard president. He tries to go legit.
Oh, so he's like Donald Trump. That's smart. That's that's like smart political commentary.
And there's this one, I forget her name. She's like the main female lead in the previous films.
Catherine Waterston?
Yeah.
Okay.
She spoke out against J.K. Rowling, so J.K. Rowling just wrote her out of the script.
Wow, really?
She's like, she's in it for like 2 minutes at the end.
No. That's
kidding.
hilarious. Oh my god.
You need to watch the third one, Timmy. It's so funny.
Okay, is it fun? Because the only reason I watched the second one is because I was told it was like Funny Bad, and I couldn't handle it. It was such cringe.
No.
It was so bad. I couldn't handle it. So is the third one funny or something?
This one you can just laugh at the level of like incompetent writing.
Okay.
It's just it's so funny.
Yeah, that is I didn't know that. I thought she's basically not in the movie because J.K.
She's in
Rowling.
it for 2 minutes at the end.
Because J.K. Rowling like can't take shit for days. Okay.
Exactly.
So I guess all I need to do is just kiss J.K. Rowling's ass, and then I'll be in the next Harry Potter movie. This is fantastic. Nice. So
Yep.
How was
Yeah,
Mads Mikkelsen as Johnny Depp?
He was actually really good. I'll
Okay.
give him that.
All right. So, but yeah, I don't have anything else to say, and I really just don't want to talk about dumb Zaslav at this point anymore. I just don't. I've said everything I wanted to
Talk about
say.
a movie.
Yeah, and I don't want to. And I've just been. Yeah, I just don't want to deal with this anymore. Let's just talk about things instead.
Speaking of fantastic Warner Bros. Movies,
Oh.
Black Adam.
Oh, okay. We're talking about that one first. Okay. God, fuck.
Yeah.
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 You guys go ahead.
Yeah, two of us saw this.
Oh,
yeah.
I saw this in an IMAX theater.
Me too. I also saw this in an IMAX
Yeah, no,
theater.
I wasn't gonna go watch.
Honestly, you made the right
Did your
decision
theater
because
clap and cheer?
this was the biggest 2-hour waste of time I've ever sat through. Like, I
Really?
Yeah,
Not Southland Tales?
Okay, that's a lie. But
Yeah,
I guess
I'd
in a
rather sit through this
recently.
than Southland Tales.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, me too. But we'll get to that. Yeah. So I had like no expectations because it's like, I mean, it's a superhero featuring The Rock. Like, how bad could this possibly be? So I like ordered myself a big Long Island iced tea, and I like had 2 beers before I came to the theater too. And it was somehow worse than I even imagined. Like, this is the most corporate, cynically made, like, by the numbers checklist superhero movie I think I've ever seen. Like, this movie is just riddled with cliches and bullshit, like, quippy humor and, like, stupid action scenes.
So it's so thrown together.
Yeah, it's like this movie basically had no script. It had no.
Do you know, Timmy, that post-credit scene was only shot like a month before release?
Really? It seemed like it.
Yeah,
that's why
I kind of looked. That's why I kind of looked weird with the digital effects.
Yeah, it's like everyone was cheering, like everyone was clapping, and that scene's like
That was the
no,
only moment that
Superman!
anyone showed any emotion in the whole.
So wait, did they not even put Superman in the actual movie, or was it just?
No,
in the
they put him in the
post-credits?
end credits.
It's just a post-credit scene.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it's like
People
and
were
yet-
like, "Whoa, Superman!"
Superman, and at that point, I just left the theater. I was like, "Oh, fuck this!" It's like,
So did I.
Yeah, it's like this is like. Did you guys not see Man of Steel or any of the previous like DC movies that he's in? Like, who are you people? What planet are we living on where like people are cheering for like Henry Cavill as Superman to come back? Like, what the fuck is this,
Yeah,
man? Like,
I don't know. I didn't
it's
think anyone gave enough of a shit about that character. Like,
well, the thing
Yeah.
is though, it's like DC fans are like a different breed of humanity, and that like they need movies to
And then
like
there's Zack Snyder fans.
yeah, they need their movies to like justify their existence as like human beings or whatever. So like when all those people who were demanding that the Snyder Cut be released, like when it came out and it got good reviews or whatever, they were like, yes, hell yeah, we exist as humanity or whatever. It's like it's fucking stupid. Anyway,
That was
Black
their
Adam,
coming
what were we
out
talking
moment.
about? Yeah, this one.
Yeah, Black Adam. Dude, it was
What did you think?
I was looking forward to it.
Really?
Based on how like funny all those trailers looked, and then I was still disappointed. I could not believe how colossally shit it was.
It was such a
It was
piece of
so
shit.
bad.
It was so thrown together. This is somehow worse than like fucking Aquaman. Like Aquaman was at least hilarious. Like Aquaman was like the
was
funniest thing that
effort.
came out that year. Yeah, and someone gave a shit. Like when making no one gave a
I don't
shit.
think anyone gave a shit here.
No one gave a single
Maybe Dwayne
flying
Johnson,
fuck.
but he's probably kidding himself.
No, Dwayne Johnson doesn't try on anything. He just does the same thing. You know what was hilarious? It's that like Dwayne Johnson is supposed to be this like 5,000-year-old like Middle Eastern god or whatever, and he talks exactly the same. He just talks like The Rock. It's like, can you not even pretend to be someone else? Can you not like at least try to be a
Yeah, I
different
know.
character? It's like when he like tried to be a different character in like Southland Tales, and it's like, well, fuck, I'm not doing
was
this shit again.
laughing,
So it's like he's just The Rock.
I was laughing my ass off in his backstory scene.
Yeah, when they like they covered his face and it's like, who is this guy? It's like, that's clearly the fucking Rock. Like, you're not tricking anyone, you fucking dumb fuckers. Like, Jesus Christ. And the action scenes were so fucking nauseating. They like, it was literally like, what's like a good comparison? But like, they just showed action scene after action scene after action scene after action scene, like waves and waves of action, to the point that I was literally having a headache. I was like,
basically
God,
a video game.
it was like a Zack Snyder. It was like Man of Steel, like.
It was like Man of Steel, but just the whole climax of the film is just the whole movie.
Exactly, yeah. And they even do, like, shitty Zack Snyder-isms or whatever. They, like, whoa, slow-mo or whatever. And, like, you know, cool lightning. It's like, what planet are we living on where we're still relying on Zack Snyder, of all people, to make DC fucking movies? Like, Jesus Christ.
Can we talk about the editing and the amount of cuts? Like,
I hated the editing so fucking much.
After that one first fight with the the Justice Society, where that woman's like, "You think you can just come in here and just like act like you're in charge and just take our protector away from us?" There was like 20 cuts to like entirely new.
I noticed
angles,
that too. Yeah.
It was just a static talking scene where they were just doing exposition dumps.
Yeah, it was like the Bohemian Rhapsody scene or whatever, where they like fucking cut every 2 fucking seconds or whatever. It was just like that. It was like so fucking annoying.
It's like these directors don't even know that you can delete footage and just not put it in.
Yeah, it's like they don't know the basic concepts of filmmaking. Like, who hired you? You know?
I don't think this director can work with visual effects. Did you see Jungle Cruise? Because he made that as well.
Oh, I didn't realize that was the same. I knew he directed like fucking all those like straight to DVD like Best Buy like Liam Neeson action movies and like The Shallows starring Blake Lively. I didn't know he did that one too. That makes sense. Maybe that's why he directed the movie, because The Rock just like. Every movie that he's in, he just hires the same fucking directors, and it's why like it just looks the fucking same. Like the guy when he was in fucking
Skyscraper.
I was gonna mention the same thing. Yeah, like fucking Red Notice or whatever. The same guy who directed Central Intelligence and Skyscraper. It's like, what the fuck, man? Like one of these days, I want like The Rock to work with like some fucking auteur director or whatever. Like if he would like work with on like a Claire Denis film or some shit, like how the fuck would that work out? You know? So yeah.
What do you think of the villain?
What villain? I forgot. Yeah, I forgot there was a villain in the movie. It was the stupidest fucking thing. It's like
it looked he looked like from like a PS3 cutscene.
He looks like the bad guy from Suicide Squad. Like, remember the fucking giant monster ghoul or whatever? Like, not the stripper dancer lady, her brother or something.
No.
He looked like that. He looked like pure shit. He looked awful. Like they CGI'd his face onto like a big like devil monster or whatever with horns. He looked like Steppenwolf like in the original like Joss Whedon cut or whatever. It looked horrible as shit.
Yeah,
it was awful.
It looked terrible.
And his motivation made zero fucking sense. So like he kidnaps a child and points a gun at him.
It was awful as well.
And then he was like, either you give me the crown or I shoot a child. And they give him the crown, and technically, like, he could still kill the child if he really wanted to. Like, and his whole plan was to get killed anyway, so that he can, like, go to hell and, like, be reborn as a devil or something. But, like, then what was the point of all this, then? Like, I don't know. This movie made zero fucking sense. Yeah, and all the side characters were so fucking annoying. Like the little you mentioned like the skateboarder kid or whatever.
Centinino, I think is his name.
Oh, that too. But like, guy? I want to talk about the skateboarder kid first. Like, we'll get to Noah Centineo. You mentioned like a skateboarder kid, and he's like his only personality trait is that he rides a skateboard. I didn't know what that means.
He has the skateboard.
And I didn't know what that meant until I saw the movie, and it's like, okay, I know exactly what Jules is talking about now. His acting sucked. He was easily the worst actor in the whole movie. Like, he can't act for shit. Like,
yeah.
I don't know how he got this job. It must have been like nepotism or something, because it's like you can't act for
probably.
shit. Like,
When he was like talking to The Rock, like, you need a catchphrase.
yeah, and that was their attempt at humor. It's like the man in black like sends his regards or some shit like that, and it's like, is this supposed to be funny? Like, is this what counts as humor? Like, oh, and they make like a good and the bad and the ugly reference. And it was, I
Yes.
wanted to,
Oh my
I
God,
wanted to
that
leave
was-
the theater at that point. I couldn't handle it. It was like, I can't take, Jesus, sorry, I can't take
I
this
actually
anymore.
put my head in my hands in that scene.
I was rolling my eyes so hard, and everyone was laughing. Everyone was laughing at that, like, at that joke. But I was like, I bet 90% of you have never even seen The Good and the Bad and the Ugly.
Referencing.
Yeah, that might have been it too. Yeah, but everyone was laughing. So many people were laughing or like cheering. Like, people were actually clapping at the end of the movie, and I'm like, what the? Did we watch the same movie? Like, what is going on here?
That ending was so funny where they go like, what are we gonna call you? And then he gives like his little cheeky smile to the camera.
Yeah, he does his fucking the Rock face. Yeah, it was. Yeah, and then like Black Adam. That's the end of the movie. It's like, fuck off. Like,
I will
but-
say, like, all that shit of, like, The Rock going, like, Black Adam. It was so hilarious, though. Like,
yeah,
like,
it was.
like
Always
all
hyping
those
up in this movie was
videos,
so funny.
like 2 words of Black Adam.
Luke, have you seen the video where he goes, it's time for India versus Pakistan?
What? No, I
What?
haven't
What is?
seen that.
What the hell are you talking about?
Okay, I gotta follow up that video. He was doing like some marketing for Black Adam, and he I think he was also, because he was doing it as a promotion for his film at like a cricket match between India and Pakistan, and he said, "It's time for India versus Pakistan."
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! The
God.
level
And
of
then he
self
straight up
awareness.
does that eyebrow thing.
Oh my God, the level of self awareness that The Rock has is just so absurdly low. It's just hilarious to me. Yeah, okay, I'll check this out at a later time. Yeah, but yeah, going back to Noah Centineo, he's like one of like the sidekicks or whatever, the Justice Society or whatever. Like, okay,
Justice Society.
I
Genuinely
believe it
sounds
or
like a
not,
parody
I am
name.
actually familiar with a handful of these characters because like.
Really?
Because I grew up watching Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, so like some of the characters were like, oh, I recognize them. They're from the cartoon that I saw like when I was a kid, but they're not like properly developed characters. They just fucking throw all these characters literally like 30 minutes into the movies, like Hawkman, like we gotta like assemble the team or whatever,
Hawkman.
and then like Pierce Brosnan just like
You know, what
shows
was
up.
that girl's name? I
I literally
what
forgot.
she
I
was.
don't remember her name either.
Yeah.
I don't remember Noah Centineo's character's name either. What the fuck was his name? Like, something Smasher?
Adam Smasher.
That was
I
it.
remember
Yeah,
that 'cause
yeah.
It was so dumb.
And he was worthless as fuck. He was literally useless. Like his whole personality was like he grows big and then he eats a lot. It's like, haha, that very funny movie. Like he's like the fucking Flash or whatever. He needs to eat a lot of food. And it's funny because he said, "Do you guys have any snacks?" That was a joke, believe it or not. Like, did you get it? That was funny. He's
Oh, yeah,
hungry and he said he needed a
Cyclone.
snack. That's funny. Yeah. It's funny we're mentioning Noah Centineo because I don't remember where I saw this, but in an interview he has said that he's wanted to like work with like a bunch of like he listed a bunch of directors that he wanted to work with, and one of them was like Gaspar Noé or some shit, and I lost my fucking mind. I was like, can you imagine this kid in like fucking Climax or some shit? It's
Oh no.
please, Gaspar Noé, if you're listening to this, please make this happen. I want Noah Centineo in your next movie. Please make this happen. Oh god. Yeah, everyone was praising like Pierce Brosnan in the movie, but he was just as forgettable as like everyone else. Like
He
I
was
literally
only, like just fine.
yeah, he was just trying to do like an imitation of like
wasn't
Benedict
anything bad,
Cumberbatch.
but like yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I swear, it genuinely does feel like a parody of a movie. Like everything about it, like the character names like Dr. Fate and Atom Smasher and Hawkman and
Black Adam, like
all the action scenes.
This
Yeah,
is a
Justice
movie.
Society.
This is a movie that feels like a movie that would exist in The Boys. Like, this is a movie they would, like, unironically, like,
Yeah.
market in The Boys or something like
something-
that.
You know in Home Alone where Kevin watches like the parody gangster film?
Yeah.
If there was a Home Alone movie now, that it would be like it would be Black Adam.
They should do that to the sequel to Sweet Home Alone or fucking whatever on Disney Plus.
Home Sweet Home Alone.
Yeah. Or whatever the hell it's called.
Haven't heard about that movie in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
mean,
too familiar
what
with
else
it.
happened in the I literally forgot. Like, it was just so forgettable and unmemorable. I forgot most of the movie. Like, cuz what else happens? It's like
There was the
his-
annoying fat guy.
Who? Oh, yeah, fuck the Jesus Christ. Yeah, isn't that funny? It's funny cuz he's fat and lazy. Like, what a knee slapper. It's 2022, we're still making these same jokes. Like, haha. Jesus.
There was the scene where the kid rouses the all the people to fight the undead army. and
He
the main dude
unironically puts
instantly.
on a cape, stands on a car, and it's like, we gotta fight, we gotta, like, you know, take back our city or fucking whatever. It's like,
And then that guy says like, "Well, what are we waiting for?"
it's like,
Oh my god.
they
man.
were so inspired by this, like, this 13-year-old nerd. that he was the driving factor to making
He's got like a
the
little
change.
red shirt with just a star on it and like a little blanket cape.
And you can tell he's a nerd. Like, get it? He has DC Comics and he has DC superhero posters, like, in his room. Like, get it? He's a nerd. Like, wow, what a huge distinguishing. Was that them trying to be like meta or some shit? Like, by him having actual DC Comics or something like that? Like, what the fuck was the point of any of this shit?
Or more when he was going like, so what are your powers? Do you do this? Do you do that? Aquaman does this.
Yeah, like, this is the same shit as Aquaman. They did the same shit in Aquaman in fucking yeah, like, I
It's like they
swear
tried
to God.
do this-
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
It's like they tried to do what Shazam did.
Oh, yeah, that was it.
where
That
they
was
were,
the
like,
movie I was
testing
trying.
out
Yeah.
powers, but it like, yeah.
So does this?
So they just
So
kinda
is
fucked it
this a villain that, like, Shazam has to fight in, like, the third? Is Shazam going to have to, like, kick the Rock's ass or something like that? Like, I don't know much about
Well,
Black
I think
Adam.
He's usually a Shazam villain, and he was going to play the villain in Shazam, but then he demanded his own like spin-off movie or something, and he wanted to develop the character.
But
so
why though? I don't
I-
understand why.
maybe he'll make an appearance in. Yeah, exactly.
Well, now I know that he can't be a villain, and Shazam can't kick his ass because he's played by The Rock.
Yeah.
Like, The Rock has just the biggest fucking ego in the world that, like, he can't, like, I don't remember where I heard this, but, like, apparently on his contract he can only be hit, like, so many times or whatever. Like, there's, like, a limited number of time you can, like,
Really?
The Rock or whatever. That's why, like, in the movie he wins every single fucking fight because, like, he just has this massive fucking ego that, like,
There's
prevents
no
him from, like,
tension.
actually playing an interesting, like, character or whatever. So, sorry, what were you
Exactly.
saying? Yeah.
He just there's no as soon as I realized like okay there's no like kryptonite or anything, there's nothing that can kill
He's just
him.
invincible.
Why
He's
should
just
I even care?
why
he's
should I
like-
give a shit?
He's Superman.
Yeah, he's Superman, but, like, I don't know, edgier? Because they make this
Actually
whole thing
indestructible.
in the movie where it's like, superheroes don't kill people or whatever, and it's like, oh, but
And then
I'm
he just
like,
says, I do.
but I do. Like, what does he say? Like, fucking, like, these are
That's
bad guys. They're gonna do
screenwriting
more bad
101.
guys in the future. It's like, do they think this is like a new concept or whatever? Like, do they think the idea of, like, killing bad guys is like a fresh take on the superhero genre? Like, I'm pretty sure every superhero movie has done this exact same fucking concept in every
Batman
single
in this
movie.
universe already did it.
Yeah, Batman gunned down like 600 people in Batman v Superman. Like, no one gave a shit about that. Superman literally, like, caused domestic terrorism in Man of Steel. No one gave a shit about that either. Like,
Superman destroyed like an entire city in Man of Steel.
Aquaman stabbed a person. Aquaman threw his spear, like, at Black Manta's dad, and no one batted an eye. But now here, like, killing bad guys is, like, wrong? Like, What?
Shazam endangered people at a fairground.
Yeah, it's domestic
Everyone's
terrorism and gun violence is okay, but the moment, the
moment you dare throw some people,
that is when you've gone too far.
That is too far.
That is the line in the sand that you crossed. Oh my god, this movie's so fucking stupid. This is so corporately cynical. Like, it's like the most cookie cutter, like, when I think cookie cutter superhero movie, like, I'm thinking of this shit. It's like, it's so safe and by the numbers, like, it literally does not do anything, like, ambitious or exceptional or engaging or literally anything. It is just to exist.
It follows every trope you can imagine.
Yeah, it does that to purely just to entertain babies and man babies for 2 hours. Like, that's it.
Black Adam, destroy some shit, fight some superheroes.
And then
then
about
they
it.
team up to fight the real villain, and then the people stand up to fight the other bad people.
And what was the point of,
then they
like,
do the
Dr. Fate being like a fucking asshole or whatever? He's like, oh, I can see the future, so, like, you know, it's not my place to, like, blah, 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 blah. Like, why are you being such a fucking asshole?
That was their tension, I think.
Why is there conflict? Like, if you can see the future, I don't know, just don't do the things that happens in the future, and you can avoid, like, the fucking future. Like, is this really that hard? Like, I'm so mad. I'm so upset.
Yeah.
I'm so pissed off. Like, I don't know. I was expecting a dumb, stupid superhero movie that I could just sit back and go, okay, like, that was entertaining. Like Aquaman. Like, Aquaman was dumb as fuck, but it was so entertaining. But this was somehow worse than that. Like, this was not... This didn't even hit, like, my lowest bare minimum requirements, you know? So...
Yeah, I was looking for something like a funny kind of rock movie like Rampage or something. But
yeah, it doesn't even deliver on that, you know? So
it doesn't even deliver on that. It was kind of funny at points, but yeah.
I can't believe this is the guy that, like, Superman is gonna duke out against. Like, two fucking lifeless blocks of wood. That's probably gonna make like $2 billion at the box office, because this movie was a huge success. Like, people fucking loved this. My theater was packed when I went to go see the movie. Sorry?
Didn't it drop off like 63% in its second week?
Did it? I don't fucking know. I'm pretty sure it's a success. I don't know.
So I'm pretty sure it didn't. It hasn't done that well.
Okay, I thought I did. Okay, I don't know. I'll look this up later. Yeah.
256 million to a $200 million budget.
So it didn't even
not that good.
It didn't even make back its budget. Wow, that's depressing.
No, it 200 million budget to $256 million dollar worldwide.
Oh, okay.
And
I mean, that's still not a success.
As well.
Yeah, I can't believe, like, in this era where dumb Zaslav cuts Batgirl because, like, it's fucking, like, unreleasable. Like, it's like, we can't release this. It's not good. But he approves on this shit.
Yeah, but
like,
this was...
Yeah, I could imagine more people know who Batgirl is over Black Adam.
Black Adam.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, and even if Batgirl was, like, a piece of shit, like, it's probably... I don't even
like,
need to see
like
the movie. It's funnier than this. Sorry?
People like anything, like, Bat-related. Like, people think... If you see Batgirl, people are like, oh, that's kind of like Batman. Maybe we should go see that. But
yeah, like, people would go...
No one's going, like, who the... When you say Black Adam, people go, who the fuck is Black Adam?
Yeah, they're purely selling on this movie with the fact that, oh, look, The Rock's in it. You like The Rock. Rock's a superhero. Exactly. Like, watch the movie. It's The Rock. It's like...
That's his whole thing.
And this is the movie he's proud of. This is the fucking masterpiece that he was like, oh, hell yeah, we have to put this in theaters. Like, go fuck yourself, dumb Zaslav, you dumb fucker. Anyway, let's stop talking. I want to talk about good movies. So, do you have anything else you want to say? Because I'm done. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Yep.
So, it was a piece of shit.
I don't have anything to say. It was
what else is
I mean,
there
it
to
was
say?
kinda
It's
funny.
it's a cynically
Yeah.
forgettable movie. It's like, what else is there to possibly say? It was bad. Like, what else? What else
Yeah,
could
it
we
was
talk
bad.
about? Yeah. So it wasn't even
Luca,
funny.
you got off lucky by not watching it. I think.
Yeah, I wasn't
2
gonna
out of
go
10.
watch that shit. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry,
missed nothing.
but-
Like, yeah. So
Yeah, you missed nothing.
I can't believe we peer pressured you. We tried to peer pressure you to watch this movie. I'm glad it didn't work. So, yeah. So
I'm not
Yes.
gonna go watch another fucking superhero movie ever again.
really,
Like,
never.
I'm done.
Aw,
I'm fucking
really?
done.
Not
Yeah,
even
I'm done.
What
Not
about
even
a new
Shazam
other
2?
Batman or something?
or
No, I
Aquaman?
don't care
Yeah.
about Shazam. Okay, Aquaman 2 maybe. Aquaman 2, yes. Yes, actually, you reminded me.
What about
Yeah.
like the?
I'll
the
watch
new,
Aquaman
the new
2,
Avengers when it comes out. In a
And
few
I'll
years.
watch the new Spider-Verse. No, I don't care about the new Avengers. I'm not gonna watch that shit. So-
There's a
unless
new- oh, yeah,
unless
yeah.
they get Sam Raimi to make another Marvel movie, I'm not gonna watch another Marvel movie again in my life. Like, I'm done. I'm done.
That's
That was
probably
my-
the smart thing to do.
that was my
That's,
pushing
that's
over
probably the
point.
best attitude to have.
Yeah, that's when I signed off. I was like, okay, that's that done now. That is
I think
yeah.
that's the
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the mindset that people need to people who go who are like the MCU is so dead these days, but then they still go to see the movies.
Yeah, they
anyway.
still
The mindset
watch
they need
that
to have.
shit on Disney Plus. They watch all the fucking shows. It's like
It
if you
doesn't
really
matter. It doesn't matter how much you hate it and complain, as long as it does well financially.
Yeah,
they're
it's
gonna
like when
keep
fucking
making them.
people complain about EA and Ubisoft and Activision to their dying fucking breaths, and yet Call of Duty and like all these like shitty EA games like are like the top selling games. It's like, I don't know. Like, I'm a big believer in the
Yeah, I mean,
idea
Call
of
Duty's
like,
done insanely well.
yeah, like I'm a big believer in the idea of like
boycott
putting money where your mouth is. So it's like if you want Marvel to change, then stop fucking watching Marvel movies. Like, stop seeing them, you know? Like I think that's like a good decision, because like I think I'm just gonna stop watching Marvel, because like what's the point? What the fuck? Like when the new trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp 3 or fucking whatever came out, I literally gave zero fucks. I did not give a shit.
Did you see the poster for that?
No. Is it hilarious? Is it like
I
a bunch
saw
of
the
faces?
poster.
Oh,
I gotta look this up. Yeah. Anyway, 2 out of 10
No, I'll put it
for
in the
Black
chat.
Adam. Yeah.
yeah, same. I'm right there with you. 2 out of 10.
It's a
Fuck
worthless
this.
piece of shit. Like there was like one funny scene, I guess, but like nothing else. It was like there's no redeeming qualities about the movie. Like that's it. So yeah. So
Yeah.
anyways, I wanted to leave
should we get
most
onto
of
something?
Black Adam. Speaking of leaving,
And
we-
you nearly made that decision to leave. And speaking of decision to leave,
leave.
we watched
saw-
it.
Yeah, we saw the new Park Chan-wook film, Decision to Leave. And I have to thank you guys, because I guess I forgot to do this in my video.
Yeah, what
I
the
have-
fuck, Timmy?
Yeah.
that
we,
was
we were
fucked up.
integral parts of that video, and you just left us out.
And I completely forgot. So I apologize.
It was
But
from me.
It was because
telling
of
you to go to
Jules.
the screening of the whale that you even saw.
And
Yeah,
then it
that
was
was-
because of me that you found out that comment about that dude that was like, oh,
Okay, to
you
be
cut
fair,
me in line.
I was gonna find out about that anyway, because it's like it was on my Letterboxd page. It's like I was gonna find out about that anyway. So it's like, yeah,
that's
I can't
true.
entirely blame
Did
you
he
for
see
that.
your video?
What? I don't know. I probably not, because I didn't get any dislikes for that video, and there wasn't a comment that was like, "You fucker, you cut me" or whatever. I didn't even know what the fuck he was talking about. Like, I didn't cut anyone. Like, what was he talking about? Like,
I assume it was because maybe you thought he cut you in line or something.
I don't
It's
know.
like we've had this discussion already. Whatever.
Yeah, let's talk
yeah.
about the actual movie. Yeah, what did you guys think? I thought it was fucking
was
awesome. I
fucking
loved
awesome.
it. Yeah, it was great.
Jinx.
Yeah. Luca, what'd you think?
Yeah. Sorry. One of the best movies of the year so far, honestly. It was fantastic. It was like literally the same thing that he does every single time. Like make a weird story about a twisted, fucked up romance,
But like sort of toned down.
but does it in a new setting, and like gave a very fresh like exploration of like his normal style, and like it was awesome.
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
like-
only when I was rewatching some of his films, like I rewatched. When I rewatched The Handmaiden, and I watched Thirst with you, Luca, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
He really does make the same movie over and over again, but it's not like a fucking
good.
Marvel. Yeah, it's not like a fucking Marvel movie where it's like, I don't give a shit, this is fucking awful. Like he always adds new twists and new concepts into like, because he's like a romantic guy. Like he loves telling like these tragic love stories. But it's like you said, like he loves putting his new spin on it. He likes like throwing all this weird shit. And what I really appreciated about this one was almost kind of how toned down a lot of like the more explicit stuff is, because like in Thirst and the Handmaiden, they are very explicitly sexual and violent films. Like The Handmaiden literally has like a 5-minute like lesbian sex scene, you know, like and like the Thirst has like a bunch of
kind of a bit more restricted in this.
Yeah, and the Thirst has like a bunch of shit, but this one is like a lot more restrictive. Like there's like one fight scene and like one sex scene, and like they're not very long. They're very
One sex scene.
Yeah, they're very toned down. And I think that was a very interesting but very smart choice as well, because I don't think this kind of movie lends itself to the things that The Handmaiden and Thirst did, because this film is very much a more sort of like Hitchcockian, like very quiet type detective love story about people who accidentally meet.
I thought it was more of a character study.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess like when I say detective story, I mean that in the loosest, simplest way possible, because it's not really a detective story.
Yeah.
Like there's detective shit in it for sure, but that's not what the movie's about. It's about like, yeah, it's like you said, Jules. It's like a character study. It's like characters who are very quiet people who are thrust into their own respective worlds, who find each other in very outlandish and extreme circumstances, but come to be with each other because of these circumstances, but realize they can't really be with each other because of their circumstances. And it's why, like, when the ending happens, and we're not going to spoil the movie because, you know, I think the movie's like still relatively, unless you guys want to spoil, we can like do a spoiler warning or something like that.
I mean, don't we always spoil the stuff that we talk about anyways?
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
we
let's
can
spoiler
try
warning.
speak a bit about it without spoiling if you want to, but like
No, it's fine.
yeah.
Like, we can just do a spoiler. Like, we're gonna spoil the movie. Spoilers. Okay, so like when the ending happens, it was honestly kind of heartbreaking, really, because like
yeah, it's
there's
really
this fight.
tragic.
There's this fight going on where these characters desperately want to be with each other, and it was weird. It was like there was that line that Tong Wei's character said, who by the way is fucking awesome in the film. Like she is Oscar worthy. Like she deserves a nomination for her performance. Like she says like you told me you loved me or whatever, and he was like, what? I don't remember this. Like, when did I say that I love you? It's like, well, you didn't explicitly say it, but I could feel you saying it, and it was like a huge motivation for her decision, where it's like decision to leave, you know. It's like she loves him so much that she didn't want to do anything that compromised his reputation or his position, so she chooses to essentially take her own life so that he can be in this position where he can move on and, like, you know, continue furthering and loving himself and stuff like that. It was really awesome, but it was also a very tragic ending. It was like I was not expecting.
It's a horrible way to die.
Pretty much like any like thing that happened in the movie. Yeah, and a horrible way to die. Like you said, Jules. It's like it's one thing to like, you know, push someone off a mountain, but then like intentionally like bury yourself like under a sand like burial or whatever. It's like, holy shit, you know. So.
Yeah, no, lots of great, like, scenery in the film. Something I noticed about the film, and I actually noticed this because the day that I watched it, I went on a long drive, and I drove through a forest, I drove through the city, and I drove along the sea, and I drove on the mountain. And I kind of noticed all these elements and how they were even, like, in play within that film as well. Like it had like imagery of like mountainous tops and like the ocean obviously by the ending, and in the city as well, and it like combined all these different like sceneries and elements to create like these really like breathtaking scenes. Like yeah, I really loved how they like used their settings and locations in the film.
Oh yeah, the cinematography for this film was fucking awesome. Like I
It
loved
was
the way
I loved
the film.
it too.
Like I love the look of this film. I love it was present. Like like landscape shots. I think are probably some of the easiest things that you could film. Like honestly, but
Yeah.
the way they
This
integrate
film.
not this film
This
because
film
the
does them like
the way that
Holy
this
shit,
film
right.
Yeah.
integrates those like even for like comedic moments like that scene where his like detective partner is like backpacked to him like while they're like climbing up like the mountain or whatever with like the fucking like rope or whatever at the beginning of the movie like that's like
really the imagery there was like really striking. Like,
yeah it was awesome
Yeah.
and the movie was surprisingly funny like I
And
mean
that
like
one
not to say
shot-
oh
yeah,
yeah,
sorry,
that,
go ahead.
that character. Was
Yeah,
so
you're
good.
kind of drifting off, but like that
Yeah.
one shot where he's like climbing up the mountain and like goes between like the cracks of the rock and then like fucking swoops around and then like goes
Yeah.
back and like looks at the tree at the top of the mountain. I was like, holy fuck, how do you do something like that? There is shots in this film where the camera is right in front of the mirror. And it's not not in frame. It's like, how do you do that?
yeah how the
do
fuck
you
did they
do
shoot
that?
most of this movie like I want to know
Like actual movie
The
magic.
cinematography was truly like exciting. That's the word that I described it being because like it was
yeah.
alive and it was full of motion and there was so many creative ways at like revealing certain information. Like there's shots of like ants crawling on the screen and like in the perspective of like using your cell phone and shit like that. And this film
the
has like
transitions in this movie are
the
awesome.
transition as well. And it has like a really great way
This
at
is an
implementing
example of some
technology
really good
and stuff
editing.
like that.
Sorry,
Like
Jules,
it felt
what were you
very
saying?
modern. But yeah, sorry, Jules.
Oh yeah, I said this is like an example of some actually like really really good editing.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
like compared to
definitely.
Black Adam, like this is like I mean this is like a fucking masterpiece. But like the editing is like very precise. It's like it knows I mentioned this in my video, but like Pak knows when to cut and when not to cut. So like you get a lot of these like drawn out scenes of essentially just characters just talking, but you're so focused and drawn in like these long takes of characters just speaking to each other. Like I remember the scene and this is especially the case where this film does an excellent job of making like things that could seem boring like really interesting, like when the main character is spying on the Chinese lady, and when he looks through the binoculars, he actually like physically shows up right next to her, observing and like monitoring like what she's doing. And Jesus, sorry. Hold on, my throat was stuck for a second. And these you have these long takes where you just follow the characters, and you absorb before you cut back to the main character, like from his perspective, like with the binoculars in the car and stuff like that. It's like the smallest things in the world, but like these small things really like add to like the entire experience. Like it elevates the film that I'm watching, so
Yeah, totally. Yeah, like I said, like those little sequences where he's like transported like next to the characters, like were just another way of like revealing like information in like such a like fascinating and like riveting way. One of my like favorite parts was when he like pulls out the lady's phone and he like checks like the step monitor and like stuff like that, and like how like he like saw the steps on the screen, or like on the and like it like counted up the steps as he was walking up the mountain and shit.
yeah,
and, like,
yeah.
that was just like
That was clever.
That
it
was
so
awesome.
and
Yeah, and
such
like
an
and it made
enticing
sense.
mystery.
Because I feel
Yeah.
like in a lot of like mystery movies like this, they just throw like the most obvious shit in the like at the wall and just like, look, good clue, right? But like,
Yeah.
and this is why I really loved Paquel's character, who's the main guy, like the main detective. It's like he manages to balance like the goofy, love-struck, like romantic, but also like a serious, intelligent detective. Because like like you mentioned like the step thing, like essentially the Fitbit on the phone thing or whatever. But I think like a scene that perfectly captures like both sides of his character is like when he's chasing after that guy or whatever, and like he manages to like pull the like I'm blanking on the details, but basically after he catches that guy, he's like, "Oh, like your girlfriend like doesn't appreciate you for who you are. Like I get that, I get it. Like because I'm going through like a similar situation. Like I'm also a hopeless romantic sort of thing. But then at the literal next scene after that, like he fires his gun because like the guy was about to shoot him or something like that. It was like, oh man, like it perfectly balances both sides. And I mentioned this briefly. But before we went back to like other things, like the movie is surprisingly funny. Like I know like there are comedic moments in Park Chan-wook's like previous films, but like this is the only one I would say is like the closest to being a comedy. I still wouldn't call this a comedy, but like there were more comedic elements in the movie than I was expecting.
I personally
Like
think
the police assistant
Thirst
guy.
is more like the most funny film from him.
Really?
Still from
Okay.
me.
Okay.
I think I was into this film more as like I mean no, I know you said it wasn't a comedy, but I didn't really laugh. I don't think. I think I like smiled a bit and found some things funny, definitely. But
I
like
don't know. I chuckled a couple times when I was
Thirst
watching
has
the
some
movie,
moments
yeah.
where I'm like
Yeah.
genuinely
I
like,
got
holy shit, this is so wild and so funny. Like yeah. But yeah,
Sorry,
I'm
Jules, what
kind
were you
of
saying?
an oddball when it comes to his films. I don't really have the how do I say this? A lot of people would consider The Handmaiden or Oldboy as like his masterpieces, his best. And I'm kind of weird. I'm kind of quirky. I think Thirst is his best, and this one is actually like probably my second favorite. Like I really love this film like so
Yeah,
much.
I loved it
Like,
too. Yeah. So
Yeah.
sorry, Jules, you were
Yeah.
gonna say something before we kept interrupting you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I was just saying the police assistant guy was quite funny.
Oh
Like that
yeah,
scene that
yeah.
you mentioned before when
I think
when he was,
both
like,
police-
climbing up the mountain.
Yeah, I think both police assistants were very funny, and this is like a small detail that that I'm sure you guys didn't pick up, but I picked up pretty well. But like it wasn't like an intentional choice they made. That's just purely how it is. So in Korea, they're like, so I'm Korean, and in different regions of Korea, like we all speak the same language, but we have like different accents, like based on where we're from. I forgot where they were in the first half of the movie. I think they were in Seoul, I think, but I don't remember. But the way the main character speaks, he essentially like he sounds like he has an accent from Seoul, because my mom and my dad are from different regions of Korea. So my dad is from Seoul and my mom is from Busan.
Wasn't it Busan?
Yeah, well, I don't know, because the reason I mention this is because the detective assistant that he has in the second movie has like has an accent, like she sounds like she's from Busan, because my mom, when she talks to my dad, or like when she speaks to people in Busan, like she uses an accent in her voice that's very similar to like the accent that the second detective assistant uses. And I was like, wow, no one else will give a shit about this, and I'm sure even the people who are making this didn't even give a shit about this, but like that was like, oh, that's like an interesting thing, you know, like
I mean,
that I didn't.
I think
yeah,
maybe because this film did have like a lot to say about like different languages and like translation and culture and stuff like that. Like
yeah, but that's like a thing Park Chan-wook does in like every one of his films.
yeah,
like,
I was
because like in
noticed
The
that
Handmaiden,
too.
they like play with like Korean and Japanese.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
what was his English film?
This film, it's
Fucking what was it called?
Stoker.
Stoker.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. So, yeah, I haven't seen Stoker. I didn't
Best.
check that one out because apparently that one's not as good as anything else he's made. But whatever. So
Yeah, that one's not his best.
so yeah. But yeah, going back to some of the other things I liked. I really loved. And this is more speaking on Tong Wei's performance as well. I really loved how incredibly ambiguous and unclear the movie is, and I mean this in the best way possible, because a lot of the motivations for Tong Wei's character is not very clear. Like you don't really know what she's thinking, or like what her motivations are. And you can see, like, because in the beginning she's like, oh, like I was abused by my husband or whatever, but you know it's revealed that she was the one who killed her husband. She pushed her off the cliff. But then, like, when she comes back in his life, it's like, okay, why are you back? Like, what's going on? Like, are you trying to ruin this guy again? And then when they get to the mountain, I thought for sure that she was going to push him off too. Like, when they climb up the snowy mountain.
I was getting like genuinely tensed up.
I was
scared.
scared. Like I was like, oh god, like is she gonna kill? But no, that doesn't happen. Like she hugs him, and then she kisses him on the mountain, and I was like, wow, like there are so many emotions that is just going through my head right now, because like I am feeling both.
Yeah.
I am feeling both tense and also wholesomeness at the same time, because like. Because you know, like you mentioned, and no, in the sense that like, oh, like these people are in love, like they want to be with each other, like they're sort of perfect for each other, and I really loved that balance in the sense that like the main detective guy was head over heels for for Tong Wei's character, the Chinese woman, but she was just kind of like playing an act to get him off her tail and to destroy evidence or whatever, like, you know, to remove her as a suspect, essentially. But then when he decides, okay, you know, I'm going to let this slide. I'm going to pretend this didn't happen and then move on with our lives. And that was the thing. She was like, oh my God, like, I use this as a meme, but it's like, oh my God, I'm like, I think I like you sort of thing. Like she has that moment where it's like, because what did she say before in the movie? She was like, I want people to listen to me. Like that's the reason why I married my husband, because she listens to me or something like that. I don't remember, but she's like, she values like characteristics like that. And like, that's why the second half of the movie happens where it's like, now it's the roles are flipped. Like now she's like head over heels for the guy.
Yeah.
He's like, I wouldn't say he's over her, more just like he's like very bitter about it, because like he was essentially he was played a fool, he was tricked, and he was like, I'm not going to put myself in that position again. But that scene on the mountain, like where they like can be both vulnerable, like they can be both open and honest about each other, like that was like a great contrast to everything else that happened in the film. It was fucking awesome, and that just makes the ending more tragic, because it's like she didn't want to fall in love with this guy, but she did, and now she's like, take your own life because she loves him. Like that's awesome. Like I mean, it's really sad and depressing, but it's like the way it's told, like the way the film is shot and the way the story is written, it's really like excellently told. It's like I couldn't have thought of a better ending, you know? So
yeah, like when I was watching, I was like, I was wondering like how they're gonna end this, like, and then when it like the ending happened, like on the beach, and like him literally standing like on her grave, like not knowing where she is, like that was just so heartbreaking. But also like I was kind of mixed, because like yeah, the story is definitely about love and relationships and stuff like that, but also they kind of had like a weird, like kind of twisted relationship going on, you know? It was kind of, I don't know, toxic, I guess, in certain
but
ways.
That's like classic, like, but that's like classic, like Park Chan-wook, like all of his movies about toxic relationships.
I'm not discrediting it at all for that. Yeah, I think he tells his relationships in his weird, manic way, and it works really well. I mean, Thirst, it works well. Old Boy, it works well.
The Handmaiden, it works well. Yeah,
Handmaiden, it works well. Yeah, there's just all these.
Handmaiden is exclusively about toxic relationships.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's just, and it's weird how like he's able to tell all these separate like again we talked about earlier, like he does the same thing, but like he still manages to have completely different characters in all these films and different settings, and talk about different themes and stuff, and develop his style while doing like a lot of the same things and stuff like that. It's I
think that's the sign of a great director, where they make the same movie over and over again, but they do it in such a different way every time. You're like, just like, oh my God, like, just, dick is hard or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Quentin Tarantino just makes the same movie and over again, but like that's what makes his films great. It's like he does the same thing over and over again, but like with a different style, you know? So
yeah, it reminded me of Wes Anderson. Like, even though Wes Anderson still has the same fucking style in every movie, like he still does something different with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And still builds upon it. Like, still does different things, still does unique things. This has the craziest cinematography out of and editing and presentation choices I've seen out of like all of his films thus far. Like,
Yeah, this film,
he's still building
I think,
upon his style and achieving great things with it, and that's what I appreciate a lot about him as a director.
I think this film won Best Director at Cannes, right? And it totally
Which
deserves
is
it.
thoroughly deserved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it totally deserves it. Like this is easily the best directed film I've seen this year. Like it's crazy how
Yeah,
well
I can
shot
probably say that too, yeah.
and best looking it is. Like I didn't think I'd see anything better, like better shot and like better looking than like, I don't know, The Northman or Everything Ever All at Once. But like, man, this is the best directed movie I've seen this year. It's fucking awesome. I love it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
There's maybe one that beats it for me, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say
Which?
it's incredibly incredible.
Which
you
one?
know Athena?
Oh no, I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Oh, you need to get on it. It's so good.
Okay, I'll add it to the watch list. I don't think I've heard about it. Yeah, so
It's incredible.
I was gonna mention, Jules, you've been a bit quiet at this discussion. Is there anything you want to talk about that we forgot to mention or something like that, or?
I was gonna say I think there can be a parallel drawn between the fact that they start at the top of a mountain and then end on like the lowest beach.
Yeah.
I think it's quite a
Oh
representation
wow!
of, like,
Yeah, that's
they're
awesome.
breaking down of their characters.
Yeah,
I think they say that in the movie. Like, what did they say? Like one
Yeah,
type
something
of
like
person
that.
is like a mountain, and the other
From the highest mountain to the lowest beach or something.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, and I
That's
didn't really
awesome.
think about. I didn't
even
really
notice
think about
that,
that.
yeah.
I didn't really think about that like at first, but like yeah, when you mentioned that, I was like, oh shit, like yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah, it's so great. Like I want to watch the
Yeah.
I again.
I love the level of reincorporation, like just how everything is there for a purpose, like the grannies and stuff, and the one with the forgetful memory. It all works for a purpose.
Yeah, like there's not a single wasted moment in this entire movie. Like everything comes back to everything. Like everything like has a purpose. It's like, and he likes playing around with the whole like, oh, like what does this person be, and like what is his motivation sort of thing. Like he played around this with the Handmaiden. Like in the Handmaiden, a lot of people's like motivations were very unclear. And you had to it was until the end where like everything kind of like comes into each other and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a lot of excellent stuff. Yeah. I mean, I want both of these actors to be nominated, but considering the Academy's record of
That's
fucking
not
up,
gonna
they're probably
happen.
it's not gonna fucking happen. If they
It'll
if
probably
they didn't
get
nominate
an international.
It might
If
be
they
an
did-
international feature. So
if they didn't nominate any of the actors from Parasite, they're not gonna nominate any of the actors from this shit. So
yeah.
Yeah. So I loved it. So I mean, I could talk more, but I think that's pretty much all I've had to say,
really
unless
good.
anyone else has anything else they want to talk about. So
No, not
We've covered
really.
pretty much all the bases.
okay, yeah, cool. I guess we could get into ratings then, if we want. So
Yeah.
and I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. I think it could be a 10 in a rewatch. I've only seen the movie once, but I am gonna rewatch this at some point because I really want to watch it again and pick up more things that I missed on my first watch. But yeah, I'm giving it a 9. So yeah.
Yep, I'm right there with you. I'll give it a 9. It's probably I think it's the third best thing I've seen this year. Very,
Oh really?
very,
Yeah.
very good film.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the second best for me. I really loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, second best for me too. Fantastic film. Yeah, I mean, again, like this is one I think we can definitely talk on for longer if we had more time with it, but also it's like super recent and we've only all had the chance to see it once. So,
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
yeah, I'm
I
also,
wouldn't
like-
mind like having another discussion on this if we see it again, because like I want to like see it again and just pick up new things that I missed and like just like write down, because I couldn't write notes on this one because like I was at a packed theater at the Chicago Film Fest. Like I think if I wrote down notes and like wrote down like my detailed thought process of the movie, like I'd have like an hour's
Yeah.
worth to talk about. Yeah, so sorry to interrupt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what stuff will be like more kind of obvious or like new stuff we can pick up, like knowing the details on a second watch.
Yeah,
One thing that I forgot to mention that I remember really liking was like how like they're policemen, and I think they do like a lot of cool stuff with them being policemen. Like there's a lot of audio tricks in particular when they're like some of the audio like sounds like they're talking through like police mics and stuff like that, like that. Yeah, there's just a lot of details that like really sink in when you consider the type of people they are and the characters that they play within the film. And those details, like, I don't know how to describe it, but like their characters definitely have a purpose, and they're not just like when a character in a film is like you were saying in Black Adam, for example, like he's a skater, and the only reason you know he's a skater is because he has a skateboard. But
And
in
he's
this
a nerd.
film,
Don't forget about that.
okay, yeah. But in this film, like he's a police officer, and you know that because he's solving mysteries and stuff. But there's also all these visual and audio and automatic like expressions to like showcase like that this is his character and stuff like that. And they do the same for his love interest as well. And yeah, I don't know if I gave my rating, but 9 out of 10 for me too. Awesome movie. I loved it a lot. Yeah.
I think, is this the first time we've all given the same rating on something? Did we give something else the same rating, or?
I think there's another movie we're going to talk
Oh,
about.
yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about that. Anyway, yeah, speaking of, I don't have a good transition for this one. Let's just talk about the recommendation.
Speaking of police officers,
we saw my recommendation, Southland Tales. This masterpiece, directed by Richard Kelly, which I have never seen. I might have seen Donnie Darko at some point in my life, but I don't remember anything about Donnie Darko. So I guess technically
I rewatched it in preparation for this. And
Oh, really? How does it hold up?
I think I can appreciate it more now after seeing this.
Really? Okay, I'm gonna give Donnie Darko a rewatch at some point. Yeah, but yeah, Southland Tales. Oh God. Okay, I gotta fucking remember what happened. Yeah, I gotta remember what happened so I can explain the plot. Okay, so
how do you even explain the plot for this? Because
that is a good question.
I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, no, it's intentionally fucking confusing because they start on chapter fucking 4 of this 6-part story, so we don't know what the fuck the first 3 chapters happened in the movie. But anyway, so like Dwayne Johnson gets like kidnapped or something, and he like has amnesia. And he like fucks a porn star played by Sarah Michelle Gellar, and then like some bullshit about World War III and some bullshit about surveillance and anti-Marxism or something like that. And Wallace Shawn is like Mark Zuckerberg. He like owns a fucking conglomerate on fluid karma. I literally can't explain the plot because like literally
Fluid
the plot
karma
makes no fucking sense. This movie is literally just like if the word
like
shit show existed in the dictionary, this movie would be the picture next to it because this movie is a shit show. I literally can't explain the plot because the plot of this movie makes no fucking sense. Literally nothing makes any sense. I swear this is exactly like Black Adam in the sense that like shit just happens, like things just happen and happen and happen and happen and happen, but there is no cohesiveness. There is no like fucking connectivity that connects all this shit. It's just literally bullshit that just happens for 2.5 hours and then the movie's over. Like, I got nothing out of it. I can't explain the plot because there basically is no plot. It's just shit that happens. No, yeah, like, how do I...
The world's gonna end or something.
Yeah, this is the way the world ends. They say that line like 600 fucking times. It's like, Justin Timberlake, it's like, I'm gonna tell you the story about the road not taken, like, this is the way the world ends. It's like, shut the fuck up. Like, how many times are you gonna say that same line? Like, yeah, we get it. Like, World War III or whatever. Like, the opening of this movie is literal dog shit. Like, they show, like, fucking found footage of kids playing in kids playing in, like, the fucking, like, backyard or whatever, and then it's just montage after montage of newsreels and shitty CG, like, infomercials, and, like, JT just doesn't shut the fuck up. He just, like, keeps expositioning, but I have no point of reference for any of this shit. They just keep talking. They keep explaining, like, fluid karma and fucking, like, Iraq or whatever. Like, what the fuck does any of this even mean? Like, I have no point of reference for any of this, so it's just an exposition dump for things that I don't even know what he's talking about. Sorry, I'll let you guys... What do you guys think? I don't want to go too in-depth about this already, so yeah, what do you guys think?
Fuck this film. And fuck you, Timmy.
Yeah, this is my fault. Sorry.
Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. Some shit happens. There's some very pretentious stuff about a screenplay predicting the end of the world. Dwayne Johnson's... I reckon this actually might be the worst performance by Dwayne Johnson that I've seen.
Really?
I thought the performance from Dwayne Johnson was, like, one of the only, like, funny things about this film.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking the same.
Funny.
His performance is the only entertaining thing in the entire movie. Yeah,
especially when you're watching it in 2x speed, it makes it even more fun.
I should have done that.
Yeah, Luca, what did you think?
It was fucking awful. I hated it so much. I kind of clocked out, honestly. Like, I didn't know what was happening. I was just watching bad things. A bad montage of things on my screen while half paying attention and half, like, watching it and being like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
I think I checked out by the 20-minute mark. Like, I checked the runtime and I realized I had 2 hours left.
I remember vaguely what happens in the first half an hour, and the rest are just gone. The rest for me...
Yeah.
And I also remember that fucking,
like,
weird, like, music video with Justin Timberlake in the middle of the film.
Yeah, that was weird. Like,
the random-ass musical sequence.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck did that add to the...
nowhere.
What was the point of that?
You could say that about anything, like the car fucking commercial or something.
Oh, yeah,
what the hell
that
is that?
shit. Oh, my God.
They show so many fucking commercials in this movie. It was like it was. This is a weird comparison, but it's the same thing. It's like Jack and Jill. Like Jack and Jill, like had like every commercial fucking ever. But in this one, it's like, thinks it's like smart. It thinks it's like, oh, like, what does it say about America? Like, about like consumerism and like capitalism or whatever. It's like, they have this like reality show with like Sarah Michelle Gellar. It's like, America needs to stop like banning teen horniness or whatever, or some shit like that. But I'm like, what is the point of this? Like, and that's a question I kept asking myself when I was watching the movie, is like, what is the point of any of this shit? Like, what am I supposed to get out of this? Because, like, if you really think about it, and as someone, I feel like I have kind of a little expertise on, like, the quote-unquote thematic ideas the movie is exploring, because, like, as someone who studied politics in college, like, one of the big things I studied was this Bush era of politics, like, of, like, Republican, like, you know, authoritarianism and, like, conservatism, neoconservatism and stuff like that. Like, this movie says a bunch of shit, but it doesn't, like, say anything more than just the literal bare surface level shit. It's like, look, Patriot Act, surveillance, bad, right? Like, like, American militarism, bad, right? Like, no shit, Sherlock. Like, this is something literally everyone knows. Like, what are you saying outside of the surface level things? Like, what is your spin? What is it that you believe in that you want us to understand? Like, what new perspective are you showing us that we haven't seen in other movies that are saying the same thing? It's like, nothing. This movie says nothing. It just thinks it's like, if it just says a bunch of shit, then it'll think it's like a smart movie. Like, I can't even call this movie pretentious because it literally doesn't say anything about anything. It doesn't, like, it thinks it's smart. It thinks, like, if it just says a bunch of bullshit and, like, throw a bunch of commercials about, like, cars fucking cars, and then, like, Dwayne Johnson and literally everyone else saying, like, I'm a pimp and pimps don't commit suicide. It's like, you're pretending you're a smart movie, but you're not. I can't call you pretentious if you don't even have anything pretentious to say, you know?
Yeah, it's weird because, like, I don't know if like this film was trying to be genuine or if it was just trying to be like an insanely shit parody because
I was entirely
genuinely
convinced this is a shit
couldn't-
post. Like this was made as a
Yeah.
shit post or something. I was convinced that was what happened.
But even then, like, it's still an awful shit post. Like,
Yeah.
it's still fucking like just atrocious.
I'm a
It feels
pimp.
like a copy pasta.
Yeah, exactly. Dwayne Johnson's delivery of that line.
Feels
I'm
like
pimp.
a copy pasta someone would make to make fun of like A24.
Yeah, it's like this movie is the cinematic equivalent of like the fucking the what was that copy pasta? The one's like, what the fuck did you just say, you little fucking shit? Like I'm a U.S.
the
Army
Navy
soldier.
SEAL one.
The Navy SEAL one. Yeah, it was like this movie's the
Yeah.
equivalent of that copy pasta.
I
Oh
could
my
not
God.
believe how just like I don't know, like just it had no subtlety at all. Like when those people were talking about like there's gonna be no privacy at all. I was like, oh fuck you, movie. Do you think I'm honestly that stupid?
It really thinks it does. It thinks like we're like dumb baby brains who like can't understand these like I can't even call them complex political and social issues because the movie goes about them in the stupidest way possible. Like you literally have a woman just screaming fight capitalism, fuck capitalism, fucking whatever. It's like, yeah, I fucking get it, movie. Like congratulations. Like
Yeah.
and
They had to remind us every time that when those like CIA people or whatever were like talking about like we gotta get this tape of Boxer Santoros or it's gonna hurt the election. It's like they said that every time.
but that meant nothing to me. Like I didn't know what
Yeah.
that meant. Yeah. So, yeah, it's the movie. Yeah, I remember Luca. You mentioned like the loud is all funny. I don't know where forgot where that came from, but
Oh yeah, there's
it's-
a line in the film when they're like recording like it's like one of like those actor people, I guess. I don't know. They're like were
porn
trying to
star.
record this thing.
Oh,
and
with, like,
then
Amy Poehler?
The one like blonde lady was like, guys, remember being loud isn't funny. And then later, like when the
okay,
cops
yeah.
go into the house and then like they like quote unquote kill those two people. And then that blonde lady was like, haha, this is loud and this is funny. Or like she said like, oh, this is loud, good loud, or something like that. And I was like, this film is literally what you're saying. This film is loud and it isn't funny.
Yeah,
and
that
it's
was the
weird
thing.
because like it's trying to be a comedy, I think. Like
I don't even think it was
like-
trying to be a comedy because it's like I didn't know the movie was a comedy until I looked it up on Wikipedia. It's like, oh, it's like a satire or something like that. It's like, what? Like this was supposed to be a comedy? Because like it doesn't. Not
think
only
the
did I not
director
find
heavily
anything.
intends it to be a comedy, and it's like, what the fuck? How?
But that intention
Like,
wasn't clear at all. Like, cause like when I watched the movie, like there were no obvious jokes or anything. There was no like, I mean, there were attempts at humor for sure, but like I
Yeah.
didn't think the movie was like trying to be a
It
comedy.
seemed like
Like,
he really thought he was telling like a serious story.
yeah, I thought so too. Like I thought this was like supposed to be like a tongue-in-cheek like serious story. But then when I realized it was supposed to be a comedy, I was like, "What? Like but what was I supposed to laugh at then?" Cuz I didn't laugh at anything at the movie. Like there was not a single moment where I was laughing like other than like the things that didn't want me to laugh at. Like I was laughing at Dwayne Johnson's performance. Like I was laughing at The
Yeah.
Rock. But I wasn't laughing at the things that I guess the director wanted me to laugh, but at the same time, I didn't even know what I was supposed to laugh at. It's like, what about this is funny? Like, was I supposed to find like John
Yeah.
Lovitz like shooting like Amy Poehler and the other guy like funny? Because I didn't find that funny. It wasn't even like, oh my god, what happened? It was like I didn't give a shit. I just didn't care. Like, I don't
I'm
know.
genuinely like straining my memory to try and remember something that was like set up as a joke, but I just can't remember anything. I don't-
Yeah, exactly. It's
I can't
2.5
remember any jokes.
hours long for no
God,
fucking reason.
yeah.
It is so long, and yet I can barely remember. There's nothing, literally nothing. It's like, and you know what the most annoying part about all this too? This is like half the story. Like apparently there's more story to this. Like I have to like read graphic novels or some
I'm not
shit.
reading any of those graphic novels.
Yeah, fuck you. Like, I'm not
that.
reading more about this. Like, like, if I barely got anything from, like, it thinks it's, like, trying to be Star Wars or some shit. It's like, look, we're the original trilogy is episode 4, 5, and 6, and then you gotta watch, like, episode 1, 2, and 3 to get, like, the full story or whatever. Like, go fuck yourself, a movie. Like, Jesus. Oh, my God.
It's like,
Yeah. How'd you guys feel about Sean William Scott playing twins? He plays two versions of himself. And apparently they have, like... the ending was trying to be like 2001 or whatever, where they like shake hands and then like
so embarrassing.
Go through like dimensions or fucking whatever. And they don't set that up until the literal last like 40 minutes of the movie, where they just throw that shit in at like the last minute, where it's like, oh, your script, it's like a predicting of the future or whatever. It's like, you know, it's like if they shake hands, they'll like travel through like dimensions or some shit, or like, and I'm
Which
like,
was so self like jerking
where the
off.
fuck did this come from? Like, this wasn't established at all in any point in the movie, but I'm supposed to care.
Writing it as they went along.
Yeah, they just pulled shit out of their ass. You know, like that's just what it feels like. It's like
I refuse to believe that was like a type of a script that was made and finished and just was like, yes, that is the finished script. This is what we're gonna shoot.
I was gonna mention, like, did no one like look at this
and
movie?
It premiered at Cannes.
Oh,
fuck! How
like,
did this go to Cannes?
That must have been brutal. They must have booed it so hard.
oh yeah, they booed the movie hard. Like, everyone hated the movie. Yeah, and
well, for good reason.
Yeah, but apparently the director is just so far up his own fucking ass that like I think he said like this is his proudest he's ever been, and I'm like, did you forget you made Donnie Darko too or something, or because that's the thing, it's like I forgot this is the same director as Donnie Darko. I was like, how the fuck
I didn't even know it was the same director until you.
I was like,
said.
how the hell did you go from Donnie Darko to this shit? Like, because he must have had producers. Like, did the producers not look at the script and go, wow, this is a piece of shit. Like, we can't make this. Like, did no one say that to him? Like, did no one give a fuck?
I think they just gave him too much control. He just had probably yes men around him. It was like, yeah, this script's very good.
Yeah, but it's not like George Lucas where it's like he has an entire fucking franchise that allows him to do that. Like, he made one good movie and that's it. Like, okay.
Yeah, which is so strange.
Yeah, and like, did none of the actors say anything too? Like,
a good movie that didn't even do well at the time.
Yeah, this didn't even make $1 million. It made like even less than half of that shit. Like, so like no one gave a fuck.
Didn't it get like only like 400,000?
Yeah, like gigantic flop. Like, so this movie deserved the fate that it has, because like this isn't even like a misunderstood movie. Like, no, this is perfectly understood. It's a dumb piece of shit that has no focus or no central idea. Like, I remember like Mark Kermode was like comparing this to like Under the Silver Lake or some shit, but like that is such a terrible comparison to make, because like Under the Silver Lake is like 100 times smarter than this shit. Like, I don't know where he's even coming from with that. Like, I don't see the comparisons at all, you know?
Yeah, what the hell are you thinking, Mark?
Yeah, you dumb fuck. Yeah, yeah, it's... what was the point of Justin Timberlake's character? Because I was struggling to understand, like, why are you in this movie? Like, what purpose are you what even thematic purpose are you serving? Like, I guess his character is supposed to be like a commentary on like PTSD that like soldiers suffer from like fighting in Afghanistan and Iraq or something like that, but like that's not incredibly clear at all. And then when he does his fucking bullshit musical montage. Yeah, when he does his musical montage where it's like all these fucking Marilyn Monroe dancers are like dancing next to him and he's like, hell yeah, I'm drinking a beer or whatever. It's like, what the fuck is the point of any of this? Like, what am I watching?
It's a satire on the American dream or some shit.
Oh, okay, now it's a good movie. Okay, I understand now.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I don't understand how anyone can like this film. Like, how did you come away from that and be like, that's some, like, hidden genius? Like, what did you... I don't know. I don't think we watched the same kind of movie.
I saw the Letterboxd ratings on this movie. It is split fucking even. Like, the same amount of people gave this like a 10 and like a 1. It's like and I looked at the 5-star ratings for all of this shit, and like, I mean, okay, if you liked the movie, like, good on you. I don't give a shit, but like, I am struggling to understand what people took away from this. Like, the people who gave this like 5 stars on Letterboxd, like, did we watch the same movie? Like, what exactly did you see in this movie that I don't see? Because it's like, taking aside the fact that there's literally nothing to take away from like a thematic or like metaphorical perspective, it's like, this is such an incompetently made movie. Like, I hated the editing in this movie so much. Like, it just fucking cuts to like different things every fucking time, and like, it's not even like that well shot. It's like, whatever, like, it's just decent. And then they kind of like jerk off about like, oh, the production design, the production value is so great. It's like, okay, like, I don't know. So
yeah, one of the top reviews on on Letterboxd is like making comparisons to The Shining or something.
what?
Yeah.
Is it a good review, or like is it a positive or negative review?
No, it's like a 5-star review. It says that opens saying it's the best film of the decade.
Oh my god.
How do you watch this and like get that?
Yeah, it's like, what do they think they watch? Do they think they just watched like Synecdoche, New York or some shit like that? Like, what planet are we fucking living on where like people are giving,
I can imagine like
Southland Tales 10 out of 10, you know?
I can imagine like normies. This is like their like yeah, I'm into art house kind of thing. And they only discovered it because they like The Rock.
You joke, but that's probably true.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
God. Yeah,
I'm into
like,
art house. I like Southland Tales.
I don't know how anyone could even see this as like an art house movie. Like,
yeah, because
I
this
don't
is
even
not.
know. Like, this just feels like a blockbuster with just infinitely less budget and like trying too hard to like force some themes into it. You know, like,
Yeah, it's like it's like a fucking like what was the name of the director of The Fifth Element? What was his name? Fucking Luc Besson. Yeah, it's like, it kind of felt like a Luc Besson movie where it's like his movies like think they're like these big thematic like, oh, thinking pieces or whatever, but it doesn't come off that way. They just come off as like really shitty blockbusters or whatever. It's like, I felt the way I felt about something like the Fifth Element is like how I feel about this movie. It's like, you think, like, I can't call this pretentious when you don't say anything like pretentious. It's just a shitty blockbuster. It's like, even when the action happens, it's like, I feel nothing. Like, when the sniper like shoots John Lovitz and like the screaming lady, like, I literally didn't feel anything. Like, and they introduce these like concepts. It's like, whoa, like fucking like guns that like can bend or whatever. That's cool, right? Like, I don't know. I would like some like substance. I would like a reason to give a shit about the action scenes, but they don't even give me that. They don't even give me cool action scenes to begin with. Like, people just shoot each other and then fuck off. Like, that's it. Like, nothing else happens. It's like, I don't know. When you get actors like The Rock, you would expect some level of competency with, like, I don't know, the fucking action scenes, but they don't even do that. It's like, there's nothing competent about this movie. There's like nothing I can say that's like standard. There's nothing I can say that's even like the bare minimum. Like, this movie fucking sucks. Like, nothing about this movie's good, and I'm struggling to understand what people even like about this, you know?
Yeah, did people watch that scene where that woman comes up to him and was like, your screenplay was right all along, and you were right all along, and then she just randomly goes,
I will
like,
kill myself.
Like, what?
What was
you
that?
saw genius in that? Like, what the hell was?
What was even the point of that? Like, she was like, if you don't let me suck your dick, I will kill myself. Like, whoa, what? Like, where did this come from? Like, what is happening? Like,
and then he has that cringy dialogue where he's like, don't do that. We'll get a room together.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I didn't know The Rock could be so much worse.
I stand by that. This is The Rock's worst performance.
I swear, I think he's worse than like the Tooth Fairy or something like that. I don't know. So, or maybe Doom.
No,
I don't know.
The Tooth Fairy is his best film. That'd be disrespectful.
Yeah, this is like,
The Tooth Fairy.
can someone please explain to me this movie? Like, I need I need someone to like make like a 6 hour actually yeah, make it like a 6 hour like explain video where like they explain like the genius of this movie. Like I need someone to
I
make
watched
that.
one of those and it couldn't even explain it for me.
Because I want to know, like, I want to know what people like about the movie. Like, because I'm not getting anything that these, like, 5-star reviews are saying. It's like, oh, it's genius. It's like, it's a smart, sharp satire on, like, American culture and, like, American consumerism and, like, neoconservatism and, like, smart commentary on what? Like, they don't say anything intelligent. It's not like... what's like a good comparison? It's not like like if you want like a sharp commentary on like American capitalism and greed, I don't know, watch The Wolf of Wall Street or some shit. I don't know, like that has a way more like interesting like commentary on that.
Satire about capitalism. Watch like Wolf of Wall Street or like American Psycho or something.
If you want a good satire on like American like pompousness and like our heads are up our own ass, like a neoconservatism, like Team America World Police does a better job at all the shit that Southland Tales thinks it's doing, but much, much better. Like, and that's a movie where, like, puppets fuck each other for, like, 10 minutes. Like, go fuck yourself. Like, Jesus. Oh, my God. This is... and this isn't even,
This film is just, like...
Oh, my God. Can I...
Sorry, what are you talking?
Can I read one of these?
Oh, my God. Okay, Jules.
Yeah.
Can I read you one of these? I'm just browsing through some of these Google reviews for like that have given the film 5 stars.
Sure, go ahead.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, this is from one guy. Before, I have never understood it, and you probably never will as well. That's because there are 3 prequel novels that explains what's going on in the first place. The movie makes an attempt at summarizing the 3 prequels, jamming it into a 10-minute exposition. It did not work, but I think it worked well. Still, I have admired the confusing nature of this movie. It was so ahead of its time. I rate this so high because I finally understood the whole thing. You may have to watch some YouTube explanation videos, but like, I totally buy it. It's a bizarre retelling of the Book of Revelations. Not really for everyone, but if you like exploring plot points, then this one might be for you. It's good because I understood it.
That review made zero fucking sense. There were so many contradictions in that. It's like, yeah, it wasn't very well told, but I thought it was well told. Like, what? So is it or is it not? Like, that was...
You have to watch all these YouTube videos and read all these comics to understand it. But once you do that, it becomes a good movie.
Then it's a good movie. Yeah, that's totally why the fucking original trilogy for Star Wars is such a good movie, because the fucking prequels exist. Yeah, like, that's why it's a good movie now. Fuck you. Oh my God! Sorry, Luca. What were you gonna say before Jules said his thing?
I don't even remember. I don't even care.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like
fucking sucks.
If I have to read shit and like watch like these YouTube videos to understand your movie, then you fucked up. It's like you didn't do a good job. It's like if I can barely remember or understand anything that was happening, like we barely talked about the Sean William Scott stuff with like his twin, but they're also the same person because they also have the same soul or some stupid shit like that. But like, it didn't mean anything. It doesn't add to anything, and they don't do anything with it. It's like when I'm thinking of like movies that I research and like I look up things about. Like Stanley Kubrick, like I look up pretty much everything about Kubrick's films, but like with Kubrick, it's like he makes such great movies that it gives me a reason to research about them. Like when I watch movies like The Shining or Clockwork Orange or 2001, like they're such fantastic movies that are confusing for sure, that are ambiguous, but they're so great that I want to keep exploring them. Like, I want to understand more about them. Like, I'll watch YouTube videos, I'll read articles about them, but I don't know what the fuck this movie is offering that makes me want to do that. It's like, it thinks it's like this smart Kubrick-like film, because I think the director said, like, Dr. Strangelove was, like, a huge influence on the movie as well, which, I mean, that wasn't clear to me at all. Yeah, so it's like, it was him trying...
I Dr. Strangelove in this.
Yeah, and he also mentioned Brazil, which I also didn't get any of that at all. Like, and it's like, this movie thinks it's some auteur masterpiece by just saying a bunch of shit. Because it's like, anything. It's like, what was the point of having so many characters? Like, when no one was properly developed, no one was like had a character or a personality or fucking anything. Like, if this movie was just about one person, like Sean William Scott's character, I think out of all the characters in this movie, I guess Sean William Scott's character was the most interesting one. So I guess if they just focused on him, then maybe I would like this a little more. But like, it's so stretched so fucking thin. And then there's barely any time to properly develop any of these characters, even though this movie is 2.5 hours long, and no one is still properly developed. Like, it's just a big waste of time. Like, I got nothing. Like, I could have just... I could have just watched paint dry. Like, that could have been more entertaining and more engaging than this movie. Yeah. So.
Literally.
Oh, Jules, I saw the thing you posted in the group chat. Is this another stupid review that someone wrote, or is this just a meme?
No, this is the Rick and Morty high IQ copy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything you guys liked about the movie? Anything at all?
No. Nothing.
No. Yeah, no, literally
Worthless
nothing.
Piece of shit.
I would actually, there was one small performance when in the beginning when they're like recording that video and like the one gran is like, oh, I thought I had water in the gun. That was like the only one kind of natural performance
I kind of chuckled at
which
that,
is like a believable person reaction to something, and that was it. That was it. That
Nothing
was
else.
the only small like speck of like anything that I liked about it.
That was when the movie peaked, and it was barely 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, this was disappointing. Like, I wanted this to be like, I don't know, Pinocchio, True Story or something, where it's like I can just laugh at it, but like, there's nothing. Like, I mentioned this before in our conversations. Like, this movie would be perfect for someone who has sleep insomnia, because I fell asleep like I almost fell asleep like 15 times watching the movie. Like, it was so boring. Like, it didn't even have the decency to be funny bad. It was just insanely unengaging. Like, I was struggling to stay awake, and I was watching it on my phone as like David Lynch intended it. Like, I was like, I'm not gonna give this the decency to even watch it on my laptop. I'm gonna watch this on my phone, and like, it didn't even deserve that. So yeah,
I didn't pay for this movie, but I paid dearly in time.
Yeah.
Like,
Not even
I guess
the 2 times speed I watched it at it wasn't even worth that time.
Oh, it wasn't even funny on 2 times.
Every 15
It was
minutes.
a bit, but like not like
Yeah, it was like
it was still
this was
fucking awful and nothing movie.
Yeah, this was just as torturous as something like Going Overboard or whatever. Like, it was, and I don't know, like, apparently there's like a 6-hour cut of this movie coming out in the future or some shit like that.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, because it's like apparently like it's gonna like the 3 other hours is gonna like focus on the first 3 chapters that were told in like comic book form or whatever, and it makes me wonder, like, why did you start the movie on chapter 4? Like, if there were 6 chapters in this whole fucking story, why did you not start at the first chapter? Why did you not start at the beginning? Like, this movie starts at chapter 4
But the thing is,
literally no reason.
I have something to ask.
Okay,
Is there 6 chapters total in the comics as well? Or did they do some comic and then continue the story in book or in movie form?
I don't know. Because I just have to assume that the first 3 chapters are in comic book form. Because, like, in this, it's like, they even say chapters 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
So, like, I have to assume that it's just chapters 1 through 3 in the comics, yeah.
That's crazy. That's like, has something like that ever happened before? Like, that's so weird. Like,
No, usually you make comics after the movie is good, not
make it
the other way
after
around. Yeah. Like, I genuinely want to know, like, why did he start on chapter 4 with this movie? I don't understand. Like, why? How much drugs
I
was
don't
he
know
taking when he
either,
made this
but-
movie?
He thought he could do a Star Wars.
Yeah, I guess so. Like the Star Wars comparison is surprisingly fitting because like that movie, like the whole saga starts on episode 4, but it's like I don't know. You don't need to know anything about this other shit to enjoy episode 4. But in this, I guess I'm supposed to read the comics to enjoy this movie. Like, go fuck yourself, Richard Kelly. Like, Jesus. Like, fuck you. God, was anyone really, 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 really
I
annoyed
think
by
he's
the
hacked.
fucking hand things that The Rock did? Like, fucking, like, tapping his fingers or whatever? Like, it's like, yeah, he's nervous.
I'm
Get
so
it?
done with this fucking movie.
Yeah, fuck this. I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
I can't think of anything to say.
It's crazy that I saw a movie starring The Rock worse than Baywatch and Black Adam, but this movie did it. It somehow did it. This is it. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't want to talk about this anymore. There isn't even much to talk about in general. It's like, what else can we say? It's like, it's a piece of shit.
Yeah, like literally.
I guess normies
genuinely
like.
think this might be one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Genuinely, like legitimately, this is I don't even need to think of it. This is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Like top, I don't want to say 5, maybe like top 10 for sure. This is easily.
There's worse movies, but
yeah, there are
this is
way worse movies than this.
This might
This
be
is-
in like the top 20 at least.
like, and say what you will about like even bigger pieces of shit. Like I don't know, like a fucking Neil Breen movie has like makes more sense than this shit.
Yeah,
Like that's how sad
this
this
what
is.
this movie is.
When a movie
High
you
budget
make.
Neil Breen.
Yeah, high budget Neil Breen. Like it's sad when you make a movie that's even more incompetent than like Twisted Pair or some shit, you know? Like Jesus. Anyway, we're done clearly. I don't want to talk about this anymore. So I'm giving this a 1 out of 10. Go fuck yourself. And I guess explain in the comments why we're wrong or something. I don't know. So
Yeah. 1 out
Yeah.
of 10. Fuck this film.
yeah, sorry guys.
Same. 1 out of 10. It was awful. I can't believe you made made us watch this, Timmy.
Yeah, I'd
If
say
there's anyone in the comment, if there's anyone in the comment section who actually likes this film, can you put a plot summary in?
No, don't. Don't even. If you like this film, find a new favorite film or find
Yeah.
a new film
Yeah,
to
exactly.
like.
just watch more movies, I would say. Like if this is your favorite movie ever,
Watch,
then
like,
clearly you
a
haven't
Charlie
seen more
Kaufman
movies.
movie.
Yeah, like I don't know, fucking watch Synecdoche, New York or some shit. I don't know, like do that.
Yeah, watch Eternal Sunshine.
Yeah, watch Adaptation, Being John Malkovich. Like, just the movies we talked about before are better movies than this. Go watch those, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
God.
this was officially taken the worst movie we've recommended so far. Do you feel praised or disappointed to have that title, Timmy?
I mean, I guess if you're the best at anything, then, you know, like I am proud to say that I have recommended both the best and the worst film for this podcast, and I want to keep that balance up. So,
Whoa.
I don't know, like if I recommend like fucking, I don't know, what's the best movie ever? It's fucking, I don't know, like The Godfather or some
Citizen
shit. Yeah, like Citizen Kane. And then, I don't know, I recommend like Manos Hands of Fate or Showgirls or something. I don't know. I mean, we're definitely going to be talking about those movies. And Freddy Got Fingered. And like, I have a whole list of these like, these movies that...
Okay.
I'm gonna
Save
subject
those
yourself.
for when they come.
Yeah, because I was going to say, like, I would say I'm like...
What if I
this
recommend
mistake-
them first?
Sure, okay, yeah, because I would say I would say this mistake is never going to happen again, but that's just a lie. I'm going to make this mistake at least 20 more times.
That's a lie.
Yeah, so, yeah, anyway, we can get into questions now, if you want, so...
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God.
God.
Yeah, if if you have any questions, leave it in the comment in the previous episode, and we'll answer them in the next next episode, that sort of thing. Yeah. So yeah, I have a bunch of questions from the past 2 episodes that we can answer. So this one comes from Cole.
Okay.
So what is the worst movie by your favorite director? I have one if you guys need some time to
you
think.
stole my
Yeah.
question.
Oh, I know what it's gonna be.
Yeah. I have one if you guys need some time to think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got one.
Fear and Desire, Stanley Kubrick. I hate that film. Like, it's crazy to think that that's the same guy who made my favorite movie ever. Like, it's
It's more of
insane.
a student film than a debut, I think.
Yeah, it's like that looks like a movie I could make. Like, I could have made that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not very good at what I do most of the time. So
I judge him. I don't judge him that much for that movie.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna, like-
It was basic.
I'm not gonna hold that against him. It's like, I'm not gonna be like, like, oh, you made The Shining, like, fuck you.
It really
You made
shows
like,
his-
yeah.
It really shows his improvements as a filmmaker.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's why, like, I'll never hold this against him. Like, clearly he's learned from his mistakes, and even he doesn't even like the movie. Like, he said, like, I mean, I
He
think
tried to burn like every DVD copy or something.
I think that's what he tried to do, because, like, he tried to get rid of every copy of the movie because he was so ashamed of it,
Yeah.
and somehow it survived, I guess. So sorry,
And it's
Kubrick.
free on YouTube, so fuck you, Stanley Kubrick.
It's free on fucking Wikipedia. That's how bad it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Mine is probably it's not even that bad of a movie. Like it's my favorite director is Denis Villeneuve, and I think his worst film is Sicario.
Oh.
What?
That's my least.
I was gonna say
favorite
I
Denis
like that
Villeneuve,
movie.
and-
Oh.
Yeah, and I like it. It's like a 7 out of 10. So that's how much I like his stuff.
Oh. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Luca.
I tried watching a film from Luca Guadagnino. He's one of my favorites. I don't know who my official favorite is. I tried watching a film called The Staggering Girl that he made. And it was good, but it was just kind of boring. But it looked very lovely. But I just wasn't really connecting with it as much as I did with his other stuff. And yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. What was
That
it
would be
called?
my
I've never
answer,
heard of this.
probably. It's called The Staggering Girl.
3.8 out of 10 rating. Jesus.
Like, again, it was good, it just wasn't like... Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably that. Or Bottle Rocket from Wes Anderson is his worst, probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if we're thinking about, like, other directors I consider my favorite,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, like, I mean, Michel Gondry is, like, not my favorite director or anything, but I'm just more equating this with Charlie Kaufman, but, like, Human Nature I didn't even think was that good, like,
Yeah,
and,
no,
like,
Human
and I'll
Nature
jerk
fucking sucks.
jerk off to anything Charlie Kaufman makes, and that one was like, okay, I don't even like that one. Like, that one I'll just take a pass on. Yeah. I don't know. I think a lot of people surprisingly don't like Ponyo when it comes to Miyazaki movies, and, like, I mean, I don't know, I guess I would consider that my least favorite Miyazaki film, but I don't think it's, like, nearly as bad as everyone is saying it is. I think it's pretty good. Like, it's like a 7 out of 10. It's like your
it was
Sicario
nice
thing.
and
Yeah, I
sweet.
liked it. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah. So
Alright, I guess
Anyway,
that's that. Yeah.
that's that.
Yeah.
So we have a question from Robert. I think we've answered something like this, so we can choose to answer it or not. If you could make any movie at any budget imaginable, what would you make?
We've watched it. I swear we've asked this question.
I
believe
also
that.
think we've
Exact
also
question.
answered this question. Yeah, so I'm just gonna, I don't know, watch the previous episode where we talked about that. Okay, next question. What are your favorite amusement parks, and what are some notable stories / experiences? Also, this one's from Matthias. So
Ooh, I can
yeah, you want to start
can
off?
answer
Yeah.
this.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a it still happens every year. I haven't been in a few years, but there's a thing that happens in Melbourne called the Melbourne Show, where a bunch of farmers from around the country kind of gather to, like, show off their cattle and shit. But, like, for some reason it's like a huge event, and there's like hundreds of rides and, like, just theme park shit that just appears just all around these, like, stupid shit, like just showing off cattle, and it's so fun. And they have a giant slide, and it's the most fun thing on the planet.
Nice.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
haven't been back in a few years though.
Yeah.
There was a woman that got hit by a roller coaster.
Jesus
Oh my
Christ!
God.
What? Is she?
Yeah,
is
but
she-
only because she was reaching for her phone, so she was.
Oh,
kinda
so
stupid.
yeah, she had it coming then. So yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been to an amusement park, so I'm trying because like the last time I went to an amusement park, I was probably 14. And so there's a regional amusement park called well, I was gonna say Six Flags, but I think I also went. So there are these regional parks called Kings Island and fuck, what was it? It's Six Flags. That was what I said. Yeah. And they have these like very famous rides like the Banshee and stuff like that that I guess I really enjoyed. Because like I'm the type of guy that really likes really fast, like exciting roller coasters. I mean everyone does, but like I like mine particularly super super fast because like a lot of the amusement parks that I went to in my life, just don't live up to that. Like the first time I went to Disney World, the rides were so lame. Like I didn't have fun on any of the rides, if I'm being completely honest. But at the same time, I don't even think like people go to Disney World for those kinds of rides anyway, which I don't know. I guess they make sense. They want to take a picture next to Mickey Mouse or some shit, like their favorite Disney character. But like, I don't know. Like I'm the type of guy where it's like if I'm going to an amusement park, I want like fast rides and like disgustingly unhealthy food. And Disney World didn't deliver on any of those things, so yet another reason why Disney is fucked. And I think I suffered from heat exhaustion the first time I went to Disney World.
God.
Because I was 8, and that was the first time I ever visited Florida, and I just couldn't handle the heat at a certain point. And I just like collapsed, and I was like, I just can't take this. I'm okay. Like it wasn't that bad.
You would not survive Australia.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, but yeah, I just couldn't handle the Florida heat. And I think once I visited other amusement parks in Florida, like I think the Universal amusement park is fucking awesome. Like
Universal's great.
yeah, it's
I've been
great. Like I haven't been there since I was 10 or 11, but I remember when I visited the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Like that shit was great. I got to drink butterbeer and all that
that's
stuff.
awesome.
Yeah, and I
That shit tasted foul though.
I got to take a Shrek themed roller coaster ride. That was probably the best thing that ever happened in my life. So lots of great stuff. Yeah, I want to go to another amusement park when I have the time. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll change my answer. Universal Studios. That was probably my best thing, but I don't know. I don't really find myself liking. I don't like roller coasters that much. Like the
really?
the feeling.
I'm the
of, like,
same.
Like
I'm the same.
Like like this big metal machine that's like the employees don't care. Like they I can tell. Like
They could give a rat's ass.
I can't handle
Yeah.
that shit. Like
yeah, and it's just like throwing you around. Like,
Oh, but that's so fun
I mean,
though.
Maybe it's just because there's like a horror story about like some people that got like killed at an amusement park in Australia a few years ago. That was
Okay.
really really unnerving. So that kind of like shook me up a little bit. Yeah, I just don't like roller coasters or anything that much. I could do like slides and stuff though.
Yeah. Do you guys like the?
Same. I'm more of a slider. I'm more of a a water slide kind of person.
Do you guys like
I don't
those?
like water slides though.
Do you guys like those rowing roller coasters where they go up and down or whatever? Like, you guys know what I'm talking about?
Oh, the dropping ones.
Yeah.
I've been on like one of those ones. It was yeah.
Yeah. So, Luca, what did you have an answer to this question or?
Amusement parks aren't really that much of a big thing here for me.
Okay.
They're more a big thing in the city I used to live in, but currently not really. And there's no like really big amusement parks. There was one kind of big one in my hometown, and I'm not going to say what it is because it would literally dox myself. But everyone was like, "Yo, you have to go to this place. You have to go to this place." And then it shut down, and I just didn't go. I never went to it. But there was this pretty big one in like another big city I used to live in. And I went there like with a day trip because it was like a long drive out. and I guess it was kind of fun. But yeah, I didn't really go on I didn't really go on a lot of rides because I was just scared of it. Like I like the teacups. I think those are nice. It's nice.
Oh, I
do
hate
like
those. They're just for babies. Like I don't
I
want
know, but
rides for
I am
babies.
a baby, so whatever. And I like the log one. I like the log one where you like row
The log
and
ones
shit
are
like
kind of
that.
fun. I'll give them that.
Do you guys like the pirate ship? Like when the pirate ship goes like it goes up left and then go right left and then left and right and left and right.
I think
you know
we
what I'm
had
talking
something
about?
similar, but and
You
actually
know
where
those
I'm
obstacle
from,
houses?
I guess that's kind of amusement park. Something I used to do when I was small quite a lot was there's actually like a pirate ship like in one of our harbors.
Oh,
And they
really?
just take you on
like
a
an actual
pirate
pirate
ship and like you just get to like go like out on sea and like it's like a pirate tour.
It's fucking awesome.
And yeah, that's really cool. That's
You're
really
living the
cool.
Jack Sparrow life.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
think Melbourne has any theme parks. We've got like one that has like a quite literal 100-year-old roller coaster.
Oh
that
god.
I just never. I'm just really scared to go on because it's like that could break at like any minute.
Yeah.
That's
The wood is over
terrifying.
100 years old.
Jesus. Do you guys have like specific like amusement park like theme foods or whatever that I'm not thinking, because like we have like stuff like elephant
fairy
ears
floss.
and
What the hell are elephant ears?
yeah, and, like fried pickles and stuff like that. You have
Fried
turkey
pickles.
legs, that sort of thing. Yeah.
We have corn dogs.
Oh yeah, everyone has corn dogs though.
Yeah.
We don't
I just
have
thought it
corn
was a-
dogs.
You don't have corn
Can-
dogs?
What do
Nope.
you Americans call it? Candy floss?
No, those are the British people. The British people say that.
Oh,
We call it cotton candy. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we have
we call it
candy
fairy
floss.
floss.
We have candy floss.
I'm not a big fan of cotton
Everyone
candy, if I'm being honest.
I love
Me
it.
neither.
It's
Me
awesome.
neither.
What do you guys usually eat at amusement parks, if you guys eat at all?
I mean, I haven't really gone in my time, so
Fairy floss or like a hot dog.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I like giant lollipops.
hmm So, have you guys been to like Disney World or something? Have you guys been to that shit or?
I've been to Disney World in Japan like a long, long time ago.
Oh, I didn't even know they had a Disney World in Japan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I don't
I
know.
know like
I don't know
Disneyland
much.
Florida and like Disneyland France or Paris, but I didn't
Well,
know there was one in
I've been to
Japan.
Universal twice.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would
well-
love to go to like one of those like Universal like Jurassic Park kind of rides.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, it's
I would
great.
love that.
The Jurassic
yeah.
Park ride's really fun.
Yeah, and
Or the
they play
Pirates of
those
the
like
Caribbean
mini.
one or something.
Well, I don't know if they still do this at Universal, but I remember when I went when I was young, they played those like mini movies. Like when I went on the Shrek ride,
Oh,
they
the
had like
screens?
Shrek. Yeah, they had Shrek 4D or whatever. It was fucking awesome. That's the only way I was
went
able
on
to
one of
see
those,
Shrek
the
4D.
Kung Fu Panda.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was great. I love it.
I
Yeah.
remember there was when I was on the Jurassic Park ride. There was I was kind of sitting in the middle and of like these two other people who I did not know, and we came to this bit where a Dilophosaurus, the kind of acidy ones with the frills, it just pops out of like a bush and like shoots like a jet of water, and this motherfucker sitting next to me ducked and it hit me in the face.
Oh, God.
And he laughed at me.
That fucker.
That's fun. Yeah.
Were you blinded or paralyzed or whatever? What was the thing that they said in the movie? It's like if you get spit on by the Dilophosaurus, you get blinded in a minute and then paralyzed.
Blinded, I think.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
can you see us, Jules? Can you see?
I was just more annoyed that it ruined my shirt, so
Oh,
or made
yeah.
it wet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's never good. Do you get?
The thing I remember most about that was there's a random woman came up to me and preached about Jesus.
Oh God, those
for
are
like 10 minutes, and I was like, yeah, this is Florida.
yeah. It's Florida. Yeah, that's why.
It's an insane place.
It truly is.
I need to go back.
I mean, most of the people who live in Florida are elderly people who want to retire and like meth heads and insane people. So I guess like, yeah, so I don't know. Like it's
I saw so many
crazy.
alligators.
Yeah, it's crazy that 600 years ago Spaniards visited Florida because they actually believed that the Fountain of Youth could be located there. Like it's crazy. Now it's just like
it's more like the Fountain of Crack.
yeah, the Fountain of fucking cyanide.
The Fountain of Fentanyl.
Yeah. Well, I think
Anyways.
oh, yes. Yeah.
Should we
I've
do
said
one
everything.
more? Because this
One more question.
episode's kind of been going on a while.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah, we've been
tendency
going
of
for,
Benzie.
like 2 hours now.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
only have like one question left from the comments, and it's like a joke question.
Okay,
So,
cool.
what kind of
Alrighty,
bribes do
fire
you
away.
demand? What kind of bribes do you demand to admit people as guests? This is an easy question. I demand. Actually, I don't. I thought I had a mean answer ready for that, but I didn't even.
I commented on that one. $50.
They have to say that Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest is the best movie, and it's a 10 out of 10.
That's a bribe.
Is
I
that
don't
the
know.
bribe? You have to give
Yeah.
Dead Man's Chest a positive rating, or else you're not allowed to come on the podcast.
That's the admittance fee.
Yeah, I can stand by that. I can stand. Does that mean Timmy gets kicked off then?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you guys can just.
He just
All
logged
right.
off the
Well,
call.
this is
You
your
guys-
final episode, Timmy.
I guess so. You can just replace me with like Jeremy
This
Johns
is
or
just
some
me
shit.
and
Yeah.
Lucas podcast now.
I guess so. Yeah, you better get one of those nefarious real guys to replace me or something. Yeah. So,
Oh yeah, those losers.
I don't know. What bribes do I want? Like, what is it that I want in life that. I guess money, but I don't know. Like, I want to. I'm not a cheap hooker or anything. Like, I want to be paid a lot of money to like.
Criterion.
Yeah. Yeah. Give me one Criterion Collection Blu-ray, and then you can be on the
Yeah,
podcast.
if you
Yeah.
send me a Criterion Collection Blu-ray that I can't get in South Africa, then I'll let you come on the podcast.
If you just get me a Criterion Collection Blu-ray, just in
Get
general,
me a
I'll let
Criterion
you.
of Salo, and I'll let you come on the podcast.
Of just any in general. Like, do you know how expensive those Criterion Collection movies are? Like, that's expensive as shit, man.
I have
yeah.
a few, but the reason why I only have a few is because they're so expensive, so I can't afford to buy more.
Yeah, that's why like when I go to Barnes and Nobles, like Barnes and Nobles is probably the best place to get Criterion anyway, because like everything in Barnes and Nobles is so like fucking cheap because books are a dying industry or fucking whatever. So you know, like.
And
But-
then you got to do that 50% sale. That just doesn't
Yeah.
exist here, sadly.
Yeah, and they're still expensive. Like, wow, like they went from $40 to like $20.
Yeah.
Wow, hell, great. Yeah, so yeah, I really want. I don't know. Can I get someone send me a Criterion
that's like
collection
2 months
of?
Twitter verified subscription.
Yeah, actually 5 months, isn't it? Because $40, $8.
No, I was saying 20. The 20.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's
yeah.
fair. Yeah. If you
Never
get me a
mind.
Criterion,
Stupid joke.
if you get me a Criterion collection of like Michael Bay's Armageddon or something like that, then sure, you can get on the podcast. And there is a Criterion collection of Michael Bay's Armageddon and The Rock, I think. So yeah, get me Criterion collections of those, and sure, and Wall-E. Now that I think about it, yeah. So yeah, so. Yeah, I think when I find a permanent place to live, now that I have a job, I think, yeah, so. Yeah, give me a Criterion collection of, why is Gotti more expensive than Birdman? I don't understand.
I know. A Best Picture winner versus something with a 0% score.
These are fuckers.
Yeah, to be fair, I got Birdman for like so cheap here, honestly. My
Yeah,
Birdman
because-
Blu-ray, yeah.
Because people don't want to watch
got
smart movies. Yeah, they want to watch Southland Tales instead, yeah.
I got Black Swan for $2. It was the biggest fucking bargain in my life. I basically stole it.
Yeah, meanwhile, like, fucking Black Panther is still, like, $60. Like, go fuck yourself. Like, Jesus. So, yeah. Anyway, I think that answered that question, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
So, yeah. Anyway, Jules, I guess it's your turn now.
It's
so
time
what
for my recommendation, and Luca,
Oh yeah,
You've been going on
You're
and on
gonna.
all day about
Should I predict your recommendation and probably
I have
get
no
it wrong?
clue
go
what
on.
the fuck you're
'cause
recommending.
you're
So
so confident.
Okay, Jules is gonna recommend Nitram, an Australian movie.
No.
Fuck!
That's on my
I
list
thought I
now.
had it. I thought I had it.
I don't even know what that is. So yeah.
That's going to be a
Okay.
double feature at some point, but yeah, that
Okay.
you're half right though. It is an Australian film
Oh
from
God.
2010,
What, is it the same director?
directed by David Michaud, called Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom.
Animal
alright.
Kingdom. Okay, I've never heard of this.
You watch listed a little while ago, Luca, because you saw my rating, I think.
I don't know if I did, but yes. Oh, yes. I think I remember which one. Yeah.
Oh, I think I've heard of this film. This looks
Yeah, this
familiar.
is-
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, if you do not want to be spoiled for Animal Kingdom
Okay.
2010, watch it before the next episode.
Oh, it's directed by the
Alright.
guy who made the French Night movie
King.
with Tim Cham. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I was like, this director sounds familiar. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Good recommendation. Yeah, can't wait to talk about it. I'm sure it will be infinitely better than Southland Tales.
Yeah,
Alright.
good
all
guess
right.
there, Luca.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Also, we'll have a guest next episode, so I guess look out for that. Yeah. So
I think.
yeah, I
hopefully.
think unless like I don't know, he flakes out
Unless
at
he
some point.
cancels or
Yeah.
something.
Okay. Then if that's the case, then
Yeah.
I'll just cut this part out.
Probably,
so
probably not.
yeah. So
Okay.
okay.
But anyway.
Anyway, bye,
bye-bye.
Synecdoche,
Bye,
Shrek,
suck
Bye,
my dick,
everybody.
alright.
good
Bye.
stuff.
Bye.
We're all gonna die. That stuff.